Wow. It's your girl, baby. It is the mule. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you good people doing tonight? I am not going to hold you guys up too long tonight. I know Bomb is going live again at 9 or 9:30. Yeah, so I'm not going to be here long. I just had this really interesting conversation, and I really wanted to get some of you guys' thoughts on it. Wow, what's good, MJ? MJ, I'm gonna drop this link, Black Dahlia. I'm gonna drop the link. Let me just say this here. I had this such a interesting conversation, right? And it was a conversation from a YouTube conversation that I brought into real life, right? And I asked, I said, well, what, do you think women, if men provide and protect, what is the role? If you this was all married men, guys, and all of their wives work, right? And I asked them, I said, so if a man main job is to provide, and all of you guys wives provide too, right? All your wives provide, and so if a man's job is to provide and protect, right? And your wife has to provide and also protect. And so they were like arguing with me. Not really an argument. I'm not going to go there and say it was an argument. It was really a beautiful conversation, right? It was just an open dialogue I had with family. And I asked them, I said, hey, if a man's job is to provide and protect, what is ultimately the woman's job if she's also providing and protecting? So they were asking me, well, how do women protect, right? Because true, if I hear a bump in the night, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be the first one to go see what it is. It will be my husband, to be honest, right? However, I'm not far behind him. Like he getting his stuff and I'm getting mine. I don't let him, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just be like, oh, flip over and no. I'm his backup, right? At all times. However, I always tell women to be able to protect yourself because if you have a husband like mine who's always working and busy doing his thing, you have to still be able to protect yourself when you're not with him. And that's that false sense of protection, right? So if your husband is at work, and you're out at a ballpark with your kids, shouldn't you have some, anyway, so this is why I always tell people it's false to tell women that the man is going to be there to protect you at all times. No, no. If that was the case in our civil society, we would not need the police. But guess what? We do need the police because they know that at certain times you will be alone, right? Let me drop this here real quick because I'm not going to be up here long. I think Bomb said earlier she's gonna. I was listening to that whole stream, but I was busy, y'all, so I really couldn't hit the link. I wanted to go up there and say, "Wow, what's up, Bob?" But I couldn't. But anyway, so no. So this is my issue right now. So then one of the fellas comes and he tells me, wait, let me pin it too, so I could. But anyway, let me try to talk while I pin it, y'all. Y'all know I'm not good with multitasking, so bear with me. But no, one of the guys, he was like, sleeves. Like everything had to be uh wait, let me see what this what MJ, this MJ.
Yes, this is MJ. Hey, Mew.
Hey honey, you see I got the black screen.
I
I
see
really
this.
want to put it out so that everybody can have the avatar showing, but girl, I just keep getting palm bombed. And Mella had told me about how to put this thing down, but girl, I put the thing down and I don't know
Yeah.
how to raise it back up. So,
Oh, I mean, it is
but
what it is.
well, at least I won't be getting palm bombed. So if somebody come up and do something, you just nobody else outside can see it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly.
So I mean, I really want to move it because I do like it better with the pictures and stuff. But I mean, I
Ain't
don't know. I
nothing to
can't
sweat
wait for
about.
losing. Yeah. So let me just finish my little story. So
Go
we were
ahead.
talking about providing and protecting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is was to me, I initiated the conversation, right? Just to see what the to me the married men that's in my family, because like I said, mostly everybody around me is married and just regular people, right?
Right.
And so I brought this conversation up, and then one person said, well, women protect too, not just physically if the man isn't there, but she has to protect also with her clothing and this and other. And I was just, shocked that he said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just gave me pause. So I started thinking about it, and I said, "Well, I think you're right." And so, we were talking, and they were really getting into the macho. Yeah, because these women, they dress like this sometimes, and blah blah blah. Mind you, all these people is 50 and up, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, yeah, just mad because y'all old now, and can't
Exactly.
wear all the things we used to wear, right? But
Right.
this is the weirdest thing. So my husband goes, man, I'm the one buy my wife all her sexy stuff. Let me tell you, since we got married, I would not, because we were raised so conservative, I would wear long sleeve shirts, y'all. And I would just find the thinnest materials,
Mm.
right? And I never even would show like from my wrist to my ankles because that was just what my comfort level was, right?
Right.
Even though I wasn't in Islam since I was 15, I still dress like that because that was just
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. Once you do something for so long, you're kind of uncomfortable. Now I wear t-shirts like to my elbow and stuff. But let me tell you, baby, my husband bought me cat suits. He tried to get around all of the stuff just to sexing me up, like seriously. And it's like, if you ever saw me like wearing something that you think I would not like, you should know he bought it, right? Like, and so I listened to them, and then once he said his little part, yeah, because I'm the one buy her all her heels, and I'm the one that buy her this, and I don't know what y'all talking about. I love it when she looking, and I'm just looking, and I told him, I said, well, I've been telling you this. Men don't like that. I think my husband, maybe is he an anomaly? Is
No,
is it because
he's not.
he loved for me to like look sexy. He always encourages y'all. He loved for me to look sexy. I
Right.
swear, I'm a plain Jane. I'm very not really plain. I like to look jazzy, like business jazzy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I like to look. Um, so I'm older, y'all. So I wear jeans, little boots with a little heel on it, and a
Mm-hmm.
sweater, and I'll put a blazer on it. So I kind of that's how I rock my little, But if you see me sexy or something, trust me, he bought it.
Right.
And and I always joke and say he my hype man because he's always like pushing me to like, oh baby, you got it. If I'm dancing, he's like, come on, baby, that's my baby.
Right.
and, and I'm not a great dancer, y'all. I'm really
It
not.
doesn't matter. He's supposed to be your hype man, regardless.
But I was talking to these brothers and I really like them. They not machismo. They good fathers and husbands, and most of them been married 20 and 30 years. So I'm not trying to knock them. But
Mm-hmm.
it made me think when it kept harping on the way women dress. Now this is the thing, because their family, they normally don't see me dressed like the way when me and him would hit the clubs or go out,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we were young. Girl,
Right.
you would, we have pictures, and I'm like, God, I would not want my people to see me dressed like this.
Right.
But but I would always try to make it a little more conservative. Like if he bought me too sexy of a dress, I would just put a blazer on it.
Right.
And then, when we got in there, he would always want me to take it off. And I'm like, okay. But the minute we were stepping out, honey, I would be back with a blazer on it. Like I just
Right.
always felt, you know, and I
That's your
still
comfort
feel it.
level. That's your
Yeah. But
comfort level. So don't even feel bad about it. Like, I dress pretty conservative.
mhm.
I think I actually did a video on my channel. It was like maybe like my second or third video, where I talk about how you dress and how to dress for your body type and to dress for you to feel comfortable and you can still look sexy. You don't have to reveal everything. Not unless you want to. I give everybody that opportunity to do that. But according to the conversation that you had, my only problem with it is that they have a old mindset, and like you said, they're older men, so there's no really like knock on them or shade to them. It's just that this is what they're accustomed to, right? It's always perceived as the woman who is dressing scandalous or provocative, or something like that. They perceive them as they're selling themselves out on the street, or they're available, like they're trying to get the attention from men. Some women are like that. Most women are not like that. If you actually look at the stats, the most women who gets date rape or sexually assaulted on their way home is coming from work, school, church. They are dressed in pants, jeans, not tight jeans, baggy jeans. They're dressed in a regular shirt. They're not showing any cleavage. They're not showing their butt or anything like that. They don't even have on a short skirt or dress, but those are the most victims, the ones who are not even dressed scandalous.
Let
So
me
you go ahead.
um okay, so let me just say this here. Um, 2 points that you made. Okay, for the last point that you made, I'll say that one first. You're absolutely right, because let me tell you something. It does not matter how you dress. They do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and studies have shown that. And let me just be honest with you. In New Orleans and just around the country, it was so bad. I want to say why to my sister Cherise, first of all, I'm sorry. And why to Miss Chazé, the driller gang smoking on them dead apps. And hey, Miss Wam, Miss Brownie, Ellie. So let me just say this here. In New Orleans, it was so bad. They were targeting nuns, guys, who were wearing full habits and everything,
Mm.
and sexually assaulted them like so
Mm-hmm.
many times, two in one night. And do you know what the archdiocese made a proclamation that the nuns not to, so they would not be no longer targets. They actually wear regular street clothes now.
Right. Exactly. Because you gotta
And
understand, when it
but
comes
I'm
down
just
to
saying,
those,
when it comes
yeah,
to sickness, yeah, it does
yeah,
not really matter to
yep,
the men how the woman address. That's just a lie, a stereotype. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. That's what I
But
meant. Yep,
okay, but the second thing I wanted to say is these men, and I don't want to just say it in a negative, well, it is negative, but I know for a fact that they always, when women who they consider dress promiscuous, they be like, oh man, I've heard them throughout the years. Look at
mm-hmm,
these women that's built fine and she wearing something scantily clad. So this is my thing. Y'all give praise and so much compliments to these women that y'all don't give to y'all wives because you wouldn't dare want her dressed like that, right?
mm-hmm.
And it's confusing to me because my husband, girl, he would want me hoochie coochie. I promise you. If I was a different type of person, and I always wonder how we so opposite, but we get along really good. But it's like it's I think he would love me to be hoochie all the time. Well,
Right.
I do it only if we going to somewhere dark club or something like that. Like I just, and that's just because I never wore my legs out and all of this and all of that. So
Right.
whenever I wear something that's like a tight fitted like mini dress, it had to be like with a blazer. Like I never would leave my house like that. But then when we would get in the club, I would put it on the back of a chair or something.
Right.
But I'm just saying, and I always I kind of admire my husband for wanting his wife to look like he would want. Not saying the what they like, but I think it's hypocritical, honestly, for these men to want to shame women for looking good, right? And
Hmm.
then at the same time admire all the women who look good. And,
Right, because it's a control situation, Mew. You gotta understand, when some men, I'm not saying all, but when some men, they say that they want their wives or their significant others to dress conservative, clothed up and all the stuff like that. Remember when you said that you were speaking to those gentlemen earlier, and they said that, well, the woman's quote unquote side of protection is to basically watch what she wear. It's a sense of you are in control of his property, which you are his property, and he doesn't want his property being looked at. So it's your responsibility to make sure that you're covered up so no other guy will be enticed to try to talk to you or deal with you or see what he got, right? It's the same type of formula. That's where that reasoning comes from. But like I said before, when we come down to deviants, sexual deviants, and who do those criminal acts, it doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter what you wear. They most of the time they go after the one who looks like good church, good girl, church girl, image. They don't go after the ones who look like they're a quote unquote streetwalker, or they work at a club, or they work at Hooters. They don't really attack those women. The ones who they do attack is the one who's not following fashion trends and things of that sort. So it's a set of a mindset of control. These men still feel that women are their possession, especially if they quote unquote claim you or gave you a title. You are part of him, you are part of his possession, and if he doesn't want you showing this A, B, C, and D, he feels that you need to comply with that. It's the same scenario when you have those men who has trophy wives. Trophy wives are all there to be exposed. Their whole body and their image of how they look is to big up that man's self-esteem when he goes places and things of that sort. So it's like I said, it goes by the mentality of men, and some men have different ways of how they want to represent their significant others. Someone to show them off in a negative and a positive way, and others like to close them off, like, you can't have my toy, I need to put my toy on the shelf. That's the two different mentalities that you get when men are referencing your clothing. Now, however, I just to put all that to the side, I do, me personally, think that there is a certain level of you having to dress for your body to make you look the best for your body, right? And not every woman of every shape can fit some of these styles that are out here. Even if it looks like it looks good, but it might not necessarily look good on you. And I do believe that some women got to know their body type and know what's going to make them look even more beautiful, like, accentuate their natural beauty with the type of clothes that they wear, and color scheme, and know what colors are right for your skin complexion so your skin can pop. Like, you can do all those little changes and still look just as bad as a girl who's almost wearing a bikini out in the street. You don't really have to do too much, but I say do it for you, never for men, because that is another form of control.
yes, and I agree. And I think the thing for me with I think not just the way I was kind of brought up was more sheltered and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I don't want to say just sheltered. Not all the way sheltered like people would think, but more conservative. But also, okay, so so we had a lot of what we call in New Orleans posse blanc, right? And
Yeah.
posse blanc means pass for white. So in
Mm-hmm.
my family on my mother's side, on my mother's side, is uh a lot of that, right? And being darker, being like the darkest female in my entire family ever,
Mm-hmm.
I think also my comfort level is covering up because he always tell me, like, you know, uh,
And it also go by body
you
type too.
gotta
Like if you're,
no,
if
but
you're,
he
yeah,
But he would always tell me like you gotta, your family so light skinned, they brainwash you into thinking this. You gotta, show that chocolate skin. So he always hyped me up for that too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of little maybe things I have in my mind, like because I honestly I used to admire like everybody but people that look like me. And that was a big thing for like the first 5 years of our marriage. He just
mm-hmm,
couldn't. He didn't like that. I would, see beauty in everybody, other woman other than me. And so I mean, but anyway, so back to the clothes thing. I do think it's weird to me that so many men are so attracted to women who have certain body types, who wear certain clothes, right? And they
mm-hmm.
want to condemn them. But those are the same women they want to give all their money to, their attention to. Let me tell you something. We had a neighbor years ago in Virginia, and she was having a rough time. Do you know my husband's uncle came and I mean paid for her moving truck and everything, her store, and
Wow.
she did not give him really any attention, but just off the beauty she had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and I've seen this my entire life where men would give their last whether they married or not. And I would look at them like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? How are you
Right.
giving this woman money and you have a whole wife? And I mean, I don't know. I don't think he ever slept with a woman, but you just so admired. You just admire them. But then when you get around family, you talk so holy. Then now it's just unrealistic. I just think it's hypocrisy. What is it that would make a woman less valuable by what she wore? And if she,
Nothing.
especially, she knows this is really what a lot of men. I'm not gonna say all men, but a lot of men desire. I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
It's nothing. Nothing will make a woman unvaluable by what she wear. It's the person who's judging her. That's the issue, right? If the person already have it made up on that person that they're not going to value them, it doesn't matter what she wears. Yeah, I mean, if she wears something that will entice them, that's just only just bringing them there to try to get in the cookie jar. But that's it. That's as far as it go. You know what I'm saying? The value thing, the situation is never in the initial transaction or the initial dealings with men, right? And most men are transactional when it comes down to love. That's why they're always talking about I have to have power, I have to have resources so I can get the girl. I can get the girl that I want. It's all a transaction thing. You know what I'm saying? That's how they play their love thing. I give you this and then you give me that, you know? So when it comes down to value, that value thing is only when a man is open emotionally to exchange that type of love, the that emotional type of love. But in most interactions is always going to be transactional, especially when it comes down to waterheads. This is why they can go out their way and buy a plane ticket for a quote unquote IG model who they don't value because they don't care about the money. The money was what got her over there. So everything is transactional. And I think what women think that when certain men do certain things, they think, oh, he really liked me. But those are the wrong things. Men will always go after power and resources because they know that that's the quickest and easiest way to get some type of woman. It gives them a certain type of level that level to play, to play with. You know what I'm saying? That the value situation never comes initially. It has a lot more effort to do with that, and you will realize it and you will understand the difference when a man truly values you or when a man is just literally paying for your time. And this is why a lot of these men out here, especially who have a lot of money, they get tricked and they get sucked, they get sucked like a lollipop by these girls, because these girls understand that their love is transactional. They understand that these guys don't value their minds and they don't care. They understand that these guys only value their body or value how they look or value how they look on their arms, and they're willing to give them money just so they can get the illusion of them feeling like the man and showboat amongst other men. And these girls understand the formula, and this is why they're able to make their money off of men like that. Like these are the same type of men who be complaining about OnlyFans and all these IG models becoming millionaires, but who are they becoming millionaires from? You guys. Y'all say they whores and this and this and that, but y'all can't stop funding these women for doing these escapades on social media. Y'all can't stop it. You
Exactly.
so
So
like
they
same
really
thing.
don't like it, MJ, or they just lying? It's like it's
No,
the
what they don't, they
hypocrisy
do
for me.
like it. That's what I'm trying to
They
say, Lima.
hypocrites.
Lima, they like it. They like it. Trust me, they like it. They love it. However, the only thing they despise about it, that they don't have control. Those women have control of the situation. They know what they're getting into. This is why they despise sex workers all the time. Oh, you hoe, you da da da, you trick, blah blah blah. But they know they can't run game on her because you're coming up here to play with her. You're playing, you're playing to pay. You're pay to play with her. You already understand it. They can't control the situation. This is why they go after girls who are looking for genuine relationships, but then still playing them like they're whores and stuff like that. Because it's all about control. They want to be in control, and they despise when women have any form of control.
Okay, let me just. Wow. Good evening, Josh Watson. Good evening. I want to say, let me see who else is in the chat. Sharice say happy Friday, Josh. Brownie Ellie. Just trying to make sure I hit everybody in the chat. Oh, wait, hold on, girl. Black guy, you say I love some fish nuts and lace. Me too, girl. I do, but at home. But let me tell you something. I question sometimes, is my relationship abnormal sometimes, because from what I hear in society, men want, and then having a husband of all
No,
these years.
your relationship is normal. The simple fact
Well,
is
it's
that
good. Listen, my relationship is not just my relationship is happy, peaceful, and I'm in love. I'm still in love with my husband. So I want to make that clear. So I'm not trying to complain about it,
no,
but I do think sometimes, are we like an anomaly? Are we weird or something? Because the
no,
thing
y'all
is,
just genuine. That's what it is. Y'all just genuine. You
yeah,
have an emotional exchange with your husband, and he is open and vulnerable and has that emotional exchange from you. That's why you feel valuable to him, and vice versa. Okay. That's why he wants to see you look good. It makes him feel good. You know what I'm saying? And you want to see him look good because it makes you feel good. You're normal. That's not the case with a lot of people's relationships out here. And this is why you have that problem. Insecurities. Some of them have perverted minds, in the back corners of their brain that gets exposed later on down the road in the relationship. That's what's happening. Most people are having abnormal relationships and calling them normal. It's not normal.
because I keep thinking like you guys are hypocrites, because I'm like my husband, I guess, like to see nice looking women, because he always Like if I'm like trying to be too conservative, he'd be like, "Babe, why you ain't wear that other dress?" I'm like, I I knew he was going, you know, but
Right.
I know he enjoys it, and I enjoy it honestly for us. But I'm more like that, intimately. You know what I'm saying? Not
Mm-hmm.
trying to say too much of my business, but that way I'm cool with that.
Right,
But
right.
um, I think that men like eye candy, right? But when it comes to women, to their women, they want to look at eye candy and this, that, and the other, and they will cheat and spend money. I don't know if all of them cheat. I'm not gonna say they all cheat, but they at least will look at all these beautiful women and spend money with them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And do
Yeah.
all this here, and then go home and complain about people looking like whores. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, really? You? Like,
Because
you
that's
could
a
never
game.
say nothing. You can never say nothing about a woman dressing like a whore because I've seen you in real life. Like, I know you in real life. You know, my thing was, especially when we were younger, I felt like dressing too provocative may lead men to thinking I was single, and
Mm-hmm.
it, and I felt like that could cause a problem for my husband. You know what I'm saying? If we out somewhere and a guy hit me on my butt or something, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn. Really, my husband told me that. He was like, "Girl, you could have been a nun. They would have hit you on the ass because he's a perv.
Exactly.
He's a perv."
Exactly. And
But
but
I
we've
was
been
so
taught,
brainwashed, yeah, that
yeah, we
it's the way you dress. But the truth
right.
is, it's not.
It's always been us though. Think about it. They've been brainwashing us since we was a little girl about where your skirt needs to, what level it needs to be at. It needs to be at knee length and da 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 da. Don't wear that shirt. Oh, you trying to be fast. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you wearing that. What you trying to do? You trying to get a F tonight? Like they've been saying that to us all the time. Like they literally made it women's responsibility to control men's pervertism. You know what I'm saying? For them being perverts or them being deviant, sexual deviants. Like if that's the case, if men don't have any sexual control, right? That then I don't understand how, when we bring it back to the leadership role, how can they lead if you can't even control your sexual desires and lusts and things of that sort, and know when to be patient and when it's the time is right for, and things went the correct way for things to happen. You have to go out of your, oh, I can't control it, I just gotta. Then I don't understand, how can you lead anything? To be a leader, you have to have a sense of self-control before you can lead anyone. So it goes back
Exactly.
again to being hypocrites. And it goes back again, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think like that's why I always believe that leadership was literally shared between both people involved. It was never just only solely one person, if that's
No,
the case.
yeah, and you're right. Candy Cane Lane saying, "Why? Hey, hey, Mule. Hey, Candy Lane. Hey, Candy Cane Lane." Bronny Ellis says this, y'all, and I think this is a good point. She says a lot of them are insecure about how a woman dresses because they think another man will approach her, and they're not confident or secure enough for all that. But this, and I think that's where they really um feel, honestly. But this is the weirdest thing. I can have a full huge hoodie on. Women would be fully clothed. I'm telling y'all, I told y'all the story about the nuns in New Orleans that was getting raped.
Mm-hmm.
Women can have full jogging pants. You remember the Gap jogging pants? That's my
Yeah,
favorite
I remember
Gap.
those
And
windbreakers
you,
and all that.
yes, girl, and we will wear that, and women were still getting attacked.
Yeah.
So I just think it's
I mean,
crazy.
we had a whole era in the 90s. No women was wearing in 90s and 80s, late 80s, no women was wearing tight clothing. That was the baggy tomboy area where girls was wearing baggy clothes and trying to dress like TLC. So
And it
women
didn't
was still
matter.
being
They were
sexually
still,
assaulted,
yeah,
you
a
know?
lot, y'all. Oh, you guys, yeah, I don't know if it's that much now, but back then it was so much that I think women just started realizing it don't even matter because the
That's
guys
what
who gonna
happened.
do it are gonna want to do that, and they do it to me to more people who look like librarians or nuns, or
Yes,
so it's
it doesn't
almost like
matter.
opposite. It's like hypocritical thought, because if you look like this here, well, maybe if they could catch you off guard, they would. But I don't know. But to me, it seemed like they were doing it so much to people who would dress so conservatively. It's like,
And it wouldn't stop them from calling you out your name either, right? If they didn't get what they want, if they try to shoot their shot at you, and you was like, "No, I'm not interested," or "I have a boyfriend," whatever, not that is still stop them from calling out your name. You not dressing provocative, so this is why you don't you got to just remove that sense of control that they think that they're supposed to have. Like they don't deserve that type of control. I do say, like, in the society that we live in, like, like, just like how your job has a dress code, and certain places do have dress code for you to enter into those particular spaces. So there is some understanding that certain things, like in the society that we live in, you might have to dress a certain way to go to certain events and things of that sort. But when it
mhm,
comes down to with your man, like your personal intimate relationships, anybody telling you, oh, dressing like that is going to put you in threat, or people going to think a certain way about you, the only one you're talking about is men. Because I mean, you're really only just talking about men. I'm saying, thinking that, quote unquote, you're easy, but like, to them, any girl that they can try to holler at and they can probably get her number and stuff like that, they all think that she's easy. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter.
mm. I want to say one to Sister Nobody. Anti ableism is. I hope I'm saying your name right, honey. Josh again. Sister Nobody. Black Dahlia and Brownie Allen. No, I think you're absolutely right. I just felt like, okay, I just, when they say that it's a woman's responsibility to protect the image of the husband and the family, and that even that goes to the way she dresses. And I thought, I'm looking, and I was so happy that, he responded to it. And I'm thinking to myself, if okay, by the way you dress, but just like you said about the trophy wife, some men do want. I just think that, especially on YouTube, that people talk in indefinites, right? Men and
Mm-hmm.
women. I think they want to do the group think. So the group think says that you should dress like a nun or very conservative, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's so hypocritical, because there's so many men who maybe like mine, who want to see their wife sexy.
Right.
And it doesn't make him wrong, because that's what he desire and he like to see. Or
No.
should it be men who want to be like people who are in our family, who don't want to see their wife looking like that, but will pay other women who look like that? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the disconnect that I have. It's like, you guys don't really want your spouse or your girlfriends to look like this, but then y'all want to go out and give all these other women compliments and giving them random money and just ridiculous amounts of uh positive things. I mean, it's
Men are
hypocritical.
wired. Men are wired to believe that everything a woman does is to seek validation from them. So when they have their wife and they already locked her down, as they so called say, they don't have to do anything anymore. She's theirs, right? So now when they're out there and they see other women and they're very attractive, whatever not, and he might, and not, this is not all men, but he might want to see if she's available or if he can have access to her. He's looking at her as, oh, she is seeking male validation, so let me go over there and give her some validation and see what I can get out of it. It's like I said, their love is transactional. The way how they operate with women in totality is as all women are whores. Like, literally, the way their mindset is, they feel that all women are whores. And if I decide to marry a woman and she becomes my wife, or she's my significant other, girlfriend, oh, she's not a whore. So I need her to remove herself from anything that I would deem as a woman seeking any form of validation outside of what I might want what I want from her. You know what I'm saying?
But let me just say this here, even in my normal dress, I want to feel good and confident about myself. I put a little makeup on. I like to do my hair. I like to look nice when I leave my home, right? So it's not that I'm looking for attention. I've just, I've always wanted to look nice when I leave my home, right?
Right.
Even though I might be completely covered up, like I said, I have kind of a simple style. In the winter time, it's usually either slacks or jeans with some boots with a little heel on it,
Right.
a sweater, usually a big sweater, and if it's really cold, a blazer on top or something, right? But
Right.
it's just a comfort level for me, right? But
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is that's how I look. But even with that, I still try to look good, right? I try to make sure
Right.
my clothes are fitted. I try to make sure I go get them hemmed and
Yeah.
everything, right? But I don't understand how men who I know enjoy scantily clad women get at one, meeting and then start talking about women dressing like, you know, it's really weird. And yeah, anti-ableism is a random man telling women how to dress. Yes, all over YouTube. And that's the reason why I brought that topic up to around people we knew, just to see what they thought. And they kind of felt right into like, yeah, the group think. Sister Nobody says there's a museum that displays the clothes in which different girls and women have been draped in. I think the purpose of the museum is to debunk the
Yeah.
myth.
That's what I was talking about. There is a museum that shows the clothes of the girls and women who've been raped, and it shows that none of it was provocative. And it was to debunk the myth that scandalous dressing is what caused these sexual harassment, sexual assaults, and things of that sort.
Wait, hold on. I'm MJ. I'm about to let anti-ableism up. One
Sure.
moment. Okay, we've never met this person, so
Hi. Yeah,
hi.
hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome.
how are you? Yeah, this is a very interesting conversation. And this just basically boils down to control and the fact that they are unhinged, they are very angry, and they are taking it out on what women should and should not do. And the example is based, prime example, or at least one of them, is down to the dress. Now, they should not feel that they have they shouldn't have to be feel entitled to our agency. Okay, we're living in a very dysfunctional patriarchy in our community, and they feel that because they are a man and because they are alive, they have a pulse and they have whatever that they have down there, they are they can just dictate what women should do. They have not hold themselves to a certain standard where we can take them seriously, we should respect them, and they shouldn't have to feel the need to tell us what we should and should not do. I think that I think they're angry. I think these incels are angry and they're taking it out on what we should do when the bigger picture is the fact and when the bigger picture is I can't have a woman and I want to control her. I want to make her pay, make her suffer, and I'm going to use that as an example. They can't have a woman. They can't.
I'm glad you said that, and I agree with you and MJ. But let me just be honest with you. This is was I didn't mention this to the fellas who I was talking to in real life, but I did think it, and I just didn't, because it's family. I didn't want to
Mhm.
stir the pot too much.
Mhm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, right? Some of their wives used to be very beautiful women. I'm not saying that they're not beautiful now, but let me just say what I want to say first, because I'm
Right.
not trying to throw shots. But I will say, when you have men that constantly beat you down or tell you not to worry about your hair or makeup all the time and constantly telling you how not to dress this way. They really need to be careful because then they get very homely looking women, right? And their wives were not like this 20 years ago.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
understand? And so it's almost like buyer beware. You be careful what you know, in the Bible, I think, I don't know what it is, but they say be careful what you pray for, right? You got to be careful what you keep asking for. You beat your woman down because you don't want nobody else to be attracted to her, right? And then she starts looking a certain way, and then you give all your attention and money to other women. But it's because you have made her think that she should wear her hair in a little short ponytail. She shouldn't wear any makeup. She's beautiful. She should just stay natural. She don't need no makeup. She don't need this, right? You done told her not to dress sexy or nothing, and all she wears is like big baggy clothes. And then you sit up here and say negative things about her, honestly. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you enforce these ideas. You made her feel like as long as she can't catch another man's eye, she's the best woman, and this, that, and the other. You beat these things sometimes in these women head, and then when they don't, then when they listen to a man and they do all of this, then guess what? It's like, what's the guy name?
I was about to
um
say Derek Jackson, prime example.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
He kept saying how women could be natural because black, you're a queen, you don't need makeup. If you look at his wife is the epitome of what he was preaching,
And look
right?
at all the girls that he's been dating after his wife.
Yes. And then, girl, do you know Nala broke the story? He didn't even never, girl, they ain't got no divorce file.
Mm.
Neither one of them
Wow.
have filed divorce. So it's just a lie that he's trying to say that they're getting a divorce. And his wife is still saying her marriage gonna be saved. So all of that, I think, like Nala said, became part of the last cheating scandal he got caught up in. So to save face, he hurried up and said that they were getting divorced.
But
Oh,
That
he's
okay.
he
with
found that he,
he's on to girl number two now. He played the girl that he was originally caught with, where he said that he was gonna have a divorce. He's not even with her anymore. He's with some other girl. And the girl came out and did an interview saying that she got played, and like, look, girl, please, like you knew that was a bad setup. You know, if he was doing that to his wife, I don't understand why you even thought that you was getting anything different. Like, you played yourself on that part, you know. But that's,
yeah.
but
But
that's
I
also
always
go
want to
by.
say, be careful what you wish for, though, because
Yeah.
when you keep on beating a woman down, you don't need no makeup, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need to look good, and what you dressing up for another man? And then when your wife starts doing this, then you want to talk about her, honestly.
Yeah.
And she's
Oh,
not the most beautiful person like she was when y'all were dating, because you done took it and made her feel like if she do any of these things, she's doing it for another guy.
exactly. Exactly. These males, they intentionally marry these women, or at least get into a relationship with these women to make them suffer. It's not about love. These women, they
I
were
said that they want
available.
to bring them down. They just want to
Exactly.
bring them
They
down.
marry these women to suffer. And the way they interpret, the way they benefit marriage is the fact that they are available, they are they're not expensive, and they are just easy to mold. That's their interpretation of what they would, of what they see marriage as, and how they can benefit from it. We look at marriage as something totally different, but they play on our emotions so they can extract whatever that they can get for their selfish or deviant gain. um, and that's something that we have to really be mindful of, that when we are dealing with these males in the community. um, so it's not far-fetched for these males to tell you that, oh, you don't need makeup and, you should do this and that. But I tell you this, if they see a woman on the street or they see a woman on a magazine or whatever, and her face all beat, hair all lace front all slayed, body on fleek, everything, nails done, hair done, what? He will be tempted to approach this woman. Everything that he says to his wife doesn't have any credence, because he truly desires the woman that is the polar opposite of what he tells his wife. He just wants somebody to mold and just pretty much just be like a lapdog.
You
You
gotta,
know.
yeah. Most of these men, most of these men, the ones that we're talking about, they marry out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
They really do marry out of necessity. You only have those like the men who pretty much are well, happy and situated in their life, like they got the career that they want, they like the money that they're making, the resources and things that are like. They are the ones who usually go after the women they want, right? The desire, the lust factor, because
Mm-hmm.
that's like another, like we said, the trophy wife. That's another trophy to add on of his accomplishments.
Exactly.
But the other men, they really marry out of need, and most of the
Exactly.
time you would hear them say that they don't even find their wives attractive. Like I watched a YouTube panel with this white guy. He's a doctor, and one of the a black lady came on, and she was speaking to him, and she was like, "My husband don't even find me attractive." And the way how she found out is, she was in, I guess, in the house or something like that, and she was there with her girlfriends, or I think her girlfriends, yeah, her girlfriends or something like that. And then she kind of overheard her
I
husband
remember
say that
that story.
yeah, he doesn't find her attractive. And she
Yeah.
been married to him for like 20 something years, and now she don't even know what to do. Like she was all crying and all the stuff like that with the doctor on the panel. But like a lot of these dudes, they don't find their wife attractive. I mean, we just had a guy like 2 months ago. It was an article where the black guy was engaged to a black woman, and she says, you're not the prettiest. He said, you're not
Yeah,
the
you're
prettiest
not the
and you're not the
prettiest.
smartest, but
Yeah.
you're right for me. Like, and he thought that was a flex and a compliment of talking about your bride to be,
It's a
and he got
backhanded
dragged.
compliment.
So
He made a backhanded compliment. And another situation, there was a Twitter where this guy he blatantly put on Twitter that he was talking about his girlfriend. He said, oh, I'm gonna paraphrase it because I can't remember quote for quote, but he said, "My girlfriend really think I'm gonna marry her. I'm only there to just use her and just get what I get, and then when I
Wait, give
get
me
my
one
career."
one 1 second, Auntie. I'm gonna let you finish your thought. Is that you, Miss Pro White Male Leadership?
I'm
Hi, honey.
I'm here. No, no, no. I'm actually bar hopping right now, but I wanted to come in and just stop in and say hello, Auntie. What's going on?
Hi.
Yes.
MJ, what's going on? But I'm bar hopping right now. I'm about to go to the next bar. But I just want to
Okay.
say hello, everybody. I'm always
Hi.
having
Where
fun,
are you bar
being who I
hopping
am.
at? Girl,
Know,
where are you bar hopping at?
everywhere. I'm in like three major cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know when
Um.
I go home to New Orleans, that's what we do.
Well, you
Because
never
we
know
can
when
go.
I might be down there. I'm just sitting here saying hello, guys. I just want to say hello. I support your channel, Mule.
You
Everybody,
too. Thank
even
you so
even
much.
though even though you don't agree with all my words, that's okay. You don't gotta agree, but you know
No, but
I
I agree
still
with a
love
lot.
everybody.
You know what? That's what I love Kira. I'm not for everyone. She put in the chat earlier. Groupthink is BS think. Because listen, I think we all have our own journeys, right? And we all have our own way to go. And the thing is, to find people, I agree with so much of what you say, right? I may not agree with everything though. So that's my problem. with people, especially men. Like I tell black men all the time, I tell black people, be your own leaders. That way, when you are listening to someone who's a leader, you can go with them. But when you see that they're doing wrong, it's just like Malcolm X, right? He was following Elijah, right? But he was still his own man because when he saw something that was wrong, he was able to disagree with it. You understand and call it out because you still have your own mind. That's what I'm saying. I don't like people who are just complete followers. That's just me. And listen, this whole conversation, if any sister or brother want to come up and say you wrong, men right, and this, if you want to sit up here and tell me, because I feel like it's hypocritical. Let me get back to the conversation that men want eye candy. I don't care what race of man it is. They want somebody
They
beautiful.
definitely want that.
And
Yeah.
then you get married and the men start saying you look like a whore. You got to change the way you dress. They don't want their wives wearing makeup. And then when she looks ugly and look homely, and I won't say ugly, but homely, then they're not attracted to her no more.
Exactly. It's very confusing. Just to continue my this the last part of, not the last part, but the what I was actually saying. So the guy basically was using the girl as a placeholder and said that, oh, the girlfriend, like he said, paraphrasing, oh, my girlfriend thinks I'm going to actually marry her. I'm only going to use her, and when I get the career that I want, then I leave her. He boldly said that on Twitter. Boldly, blatantly just put that out there, and it just shows you how they really treat their significant others, and how they're just with them for necessities, whatever their selfish necessities are. And it is so horrible how they just manipulate our emotions for their gain. And it's disgusting, but yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
have
want
that.
to say, hey, wow, was good Trinity time travel. But what led him? I'm sorry, can you start that story over? Because I don't know what led him to even say that. And
he
how did the girlfriend feel like she was a placeholder?
Well, the thing is, I what I believe is that I think there were either that was his girlfriend or that's his fiance, but I would say that was his girlfriend, and she was talking about advancing to the relationship, like, talking about marriage and stuff like that. Because, when we're in a relationship, if we are a girlfriend of our partner, we automatically assume that, okay, we're going to evolve from that role to being a wife and all that. That's how we interpret that the relationship. He just only wanted to use her to get whatever that he needs from her, whether if it's sexual needs, whether if or I don't know if I should say the word, but yeah, or monetary needs or whatever needs, until he get himself up, build his career, and when he do that, he will dump her. That was his main plot, to be with her. She didn't think of that. So that's the mentality that they have in the community. They want to use their significant others, their girlfriends, whomever that they are with. They're not really looking for anything beyond that role with them. If they evolve into a engagement, it's like a shut up ring. It's a shut up ring from the girlfriend stage, because the girlfriend probably kept bugging in it, or the guy didn't find the girl that he really wants to be with, so he has no other choice but to engage and be in a long-term relationship with the woman that he's with. A lot of them, they don't like their girlfriends. They don't. They just want to use them as a placeholder for whatever their selfish desires are. And once they get who they really want to be with, they will dump them, they will ghost them, they will leave them as single moms. That, and it's very commonplace. It's disgusting, but that's how they behave. A lot of them,
Hey,
they don't like their women. They just use them
I
for. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
no, I agree. That's sad though. Wow, what's up, Sharice?
Hey Mule,
Hey,
how
honey,
you
how are
doing?
you?
Good. Is MJ
Did
still
you
up
get?
here?
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
here.
okay. Hey sis,
What's going on?
chilling.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's why I say you have to be your own woman at all times, and you don't stop being you for nobody, and you definitely don't play no placeholder for anyone, because at the end of the day, you know, we want to think we want to think that you have a better person. You have like hope, thinking that this person is genuine, the connection is genuine, and all that stuff. But we live in, the reality is most dudes are going to tell you whatever they need to do to have access to you. That's their end goal, and you have to decide whether if it's end goal plus or if it's end goal and it stops here. But once you make determine for yourself that, listen, I'm only going to give a certain amount of time, or you only going to give, I'm only going to give you like 2 chances to show me whether or not if you for real or if you're just for play. You have to learn how to exit stage left. And I think that women have a hard time of learn how to cut ties when they need to cut ties. We stay in situations far longer than we're supposed to. And then we also have so many other people, because we tell our business when we shouldn't. We also have too many other people giving their opinions and their intake on it. Like, oh, that doesn't seem that bad. You should wait it out a little bit, wait a little longer. Oh, you're not being considerate, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, yeah, well, maybe you're right, da, 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 da. And then you end up staying. And then later on, what happens? They blame you for staying. So that's why I say, just be your own woman at all times. And if something don't feel right, God gave you, intuition. Use it. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels like it's funky, if it feels like you getting into a situationship that you didn't ask for, bounce. And if you are about just being in a situationship, you have to be honest with yourself. If you're going into something where it's just only going to be, a sexual relationship, let it be a sexual relationship. And if you feel that you're catching feelings, you address it to the person. If he says, nah, I'm still on this just intimate relationship and nothing else, you got to do what's best for you and leave that situationship, because now you know that you being in a situationship, that's not the lifestyle that you truly want.
Exactly. That's not the
So
lifestyle.
you gotta do that. You have to learn how to cut ties and stop trying to hope and make things hoping that things is gonna move the way you want it to move. When you see those signs, believe them.
I want to say, wow, what's good, Sister Wisdom Over Feelings? Thank you so much for the breakdown that you did a couple of days ago on the video. I posted it on the channel. Thank you so much. That was really nice. And I want to say hello to Sinful Pork Rind, Shoveled, Ashy, and Dead. And she, I don't
That's
know who that is.
that's RM.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh my God, RL be killing me, girl. Rochelle is a mug. Girl, Rochelle is something crazy. But
For
girl, I
real.
was reading that name and I was dead, y'all. I was like, what the hell? But no, I just
Oh,
want to say I completely agree with you guys with everything we're saying. But I wonder, why do men do that? Is it just me? Is it hypocritical thought? Because you say one thing, but then you mean another. Because when you break down these, listen, I know my husband, uncle, this lady he married like 20 something years ago. We were already married. But he married this woman. She was so beautiful. She dressed so sexy. And all out we heard for like 10 years was, oh, you gonna wear that? Oh, you look a mess. Oh, you must be trying to get another man. Now, y'all, she dressed so homey. And to see the difference, the way he treats and the way he looking at other women, it's like, what the hell do men really want? You say don't wear makeup, you're trying to get another man. You say don't do this, you're trying to attract other men. And then when you don't do it and you start looking homely and unattractive and all this his shit, then what you say? What is said then?
They
Now they're
want their
not even
cake.
attracted to you.
It's a
What?
setup,
It,
You got to
it is.
understand, like that situation is a setup. That's a setup for a man who just gets his high off of being using women and having access to
Wait
different
a minute,
women at
y'all.
different points of his life. That's it.
Wait. His
Mhm.
wife said he don't allow her to wear weave no more. He don't allow her to. Girl, y'all will hear me and Mr. Mueller here. Let me tell you something. I don't really wear weave. I'm gonna be just real with y'all, and I don't wear weave just for me, right? But I do like braids and stuff. But the braids started pulling my edges out, so my hair is very fine or whatever. So I can't wear heavy hair. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm just natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: my hair is what my daughter said my hair is like bee hair, right?
4B.
So yeah, so my hair is kind of can't handle, my hair is very curly naturally and thin, so it's
Mm-hmm.
very soft, right? So my
Mhm.
hair can't handle a lot of like the things I would like on my hair, right?
Tension and
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but even though I really like that shit though, right? But it's just too much for me to display, so it don't work for me. But what
Right.
I'm
Mhm.
saying is because I like all styles. I'm gonna be honest. I like long hair. I like short hair. I like the taper look in the back. I like all kind of looks. So that's just me though. I like a lot of looks on a lot of different women. There's this new style that came out last year where the women were wearing their hair shaved on one side and the long color weave on the other side. Girl, that
Mm-hmm.
shit looked like a rocker style to me. I loved it. Like seriously, I like all kind of looks and styles. It just depends on who's wearing it, right?
Right.
So I'm not very critical on, I'm not very judgy. Put it like that. If it don't look good on you, then shit to me it just don't look good on you. But don't mean I don't like that style. But I hear these men saying, "Oh, that's slut clothes." Oh, when and I'm just like,
They're just threatened. That's the thing about it. They're threatened because if they're really secure in their relationship and they know that their wives are faithful and loyal, they shouldn't have to react this way. I wanted to respond to I'm sorry, what was this lady's the lady that made that last comment before you did, what was your name? She responded to me.
Sharice.
Sharice, that's you?
Um,
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
yeah.
know.
Let me
Yeah,
just introduce you guys. So it's MJ up here. It's anti-ableism. Am I
yeah.
saying your name right? And
Yes,
it's
yes.
and it's Sharice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so based on what Sharice explained, I don't know if it's a secret to everybody. I'll just put it out there. It takes the first 5 seconds to know whether a man wants to marry a woman or just wants to F her. It
You
takes
Mm-hmm.
think so?
only it takes only five seconds. The first 5 seconds
No,
when he
no,
looks at it.
I don't even agree with that. Let me
I
tell
don't
you
agree
why I
with that
don't agree
either.
with it. You know why I don't agree with it? Because they married these women who dress, and then once they got married, they started want to tell a woman, "You ain't dressing like that for
Take
me. You
it
must be looking for another man." You
right.
know what I'm saying? And then they want to completely change the damn woman. It's
But
ridiculous.
like we said, Mule, it's about control, right? Because if she is comfortable and confident the way that he met her while during the relationship, he's insecure. He never grew out of his insecurity. He can't have her have leverage where she's still looking good and confident about herself, and he haven't even gotten where he wants to, or however he feels about himself. He can't allow that, so he lowers her self-esteem so he can control it, and he feels like he doesn't have to go above and beyond. Because let's be face it, like, I mean, there's been many men who talk about, oh, they were in a relationship with a woman, and then she's dressing good and whatever not, and then he probably slacked off, or he gained weight, or he's not making money the way he is anymore. And then now, when I'm sure there was other things that probably led to the relationship, going south, but when she goes and dates another person, the things that he complained to his bros about is, oh, she didn't want to work with a dude, oh, she didn't love me for me, she only wanted me for her money. This is why they throw these these things out, this rhetoric out, because they have to have a sense of control over you, and the only way they can do that is by lowering your self-esteem.
I
I
definitely agree. I
wait,
agree.
let me just say this here. I do agree to that, but I want to say, wow, Kira, I'm not for everyone. They end up looking at other women. That is so
They
true.
end up,
They
yeah,
end up looking and wanting other women,
they want other
and then
women.
judging their wife on the status of this other woman that you told your wife you didn't like. So that's crazy. And I want to say, wow, what's good by you, Bonnie? Thank you so much for always supporting me, supporting and guys, thank you guys. Hit that cash app. Yeah,
Is
Miss
buying bunny from New
University.
Orleans?
Yes, honey. I don't know,
What?
but
Oh,
she really do support over here. So I mean, I just always want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And she says it's so other men won't look at them. And but this is the weirdest thing. Like, okay, so let me ask you something. What is the difference in men, guys? That some men, I don't know if my husband, I wish he was here because I did this live really because he's gone. I'm gonna be honest. Because I really wanted to ask, what is the difference that some men, I don't know if I would say he want other men to look at me or don't mind other men looking
I
at
think
you.
it's,
And then
some
some
men.
men don't want no man looking at their woman. What is it that you know what I'm saying?
It's
Because
Good
the
because
way
like
I
point.
men
hear,
with men that have
wait, let me just finish this thought real quick, sis. And Sharice, you can have it after this. Because the Kevin Samuels manual is like he speaks for all men, right? And I always thought that was just straight bull on him because I know all men don't think like this guy. Because if they did, they wouldn't have so many different perspectives, right? You wouldn't have one man want his woman to be eye candy, another man to have his wife as a trophy wife, another man that want his wife damn near like a shut in. You know what I'm saying? Another man have his wife looking homely. Why is it that it's so many different looks that these men teach their wife that this is what they want a good wife to be? But then to me, even with the way they speak, they're lying. They all want their wife to look like Instagram models
They
to me.
that is what they're complaining about. They want the IG models. The IG models don't want them because they don't have the means or anything else to to be with them. They don't have it. That's what they're complaining about. And what they do, they want to control them by saying they should dress this, they should do this and all. But they really want the IG models. They want them to choose them.
Yeah.
That's what they're mad about.
I definitely just believe it's just different levels of insecurities. Like I said, a man with means and resources, he would want the trophy wife because in his mind, I have enough means and resources to get another trophy wife if things go sour. Versus a man who don't have anything, he's gonna definitely want the woman that he needs out of necessity to basically have low self-esteem and not be attractive to other men because he can't afford for her to leave. It's the different levels of insecurity.
Oh my god, it's so bad. It is so bad. So bad.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. And I kind of wanted some pushback because I'm still confused. Like, why the hell they do it? Like, I kind of want a man to tell me why would you do it? And I asked my husband. He was like, I don't know. He said, but I want my wife to look good. And so he just left it like that. He was like, they
I
crazy.
just feel like
Like,
they just want them to be miserable like they are. That's what I feel like. They just
listen.
want, yeah, misery loves company
They
in my opinion.
complain about their wives spending money on makeup. This is like 10, 20 years ago, y'all. My husband, girl, I could go to, I could spend so much money on makeup and all kinds. I've never heard him say, "Oh, you go to the hairdresser every Friday." I go every Friday, y'all. He never said shit, and I'm just like, y'all, you know, y'all are upset over things that mine's kind of encouraged. It's just the weirdest shit. It's like, how do y'all? And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm old fashioned. I get roller wraps, y'all. Still to this day. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna get my hair cut because it's really long now. It's like past my brush wrap. But I wore a bob, y'all, a long inverted bob for like 10 years. And I think I want to go back to that look because that was like my signature look. I really want to go back to that look. So I'm debating maybe if I should just cut it all off and go back to the bob look. Because for 3 years during COVID, I really would just I just really was letting it grow, honestly. And 3 years it's grown a lot. Um Way more than I really would have thought. But I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and just get it cut back to that. But um, I don't know. I just don't understand how men don't want to see their wife looking good. That's what I'm saying. I never had that. I actually always been encouraged to look good, and it's just weird to me that these men say one thing, and I see them in real life looking at women who look like opposite of what they telling they. I have heard them like have arguments. We were all going to a concert, Kim, y'all. This is about 5 years ago. No lie. They were telling their wife, "Oh, don't wear that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Why you gotta do this?" And I'm just like, "What the hell?" I promise you. Wait, sound like. Shh. Don't get off the line. I'm in the kitchen. I'm on my way back. This is why I hate using a laptop, y'all.
Yeah, these group of men,
Wait,
they're
wait,
not.
give me 1 second.
uh,
Somebody was coming up. Oh, pro white male leadership. Hey, pro white. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I just want to. I know I. Yeah, I'm at the bar right now, but I just wanted to say hello again, everybody. Just having fun. That's what I do. And yeah, that's it. Because I just
Hey, do
cut
you
out.
have any advice why men want to tell women not to wear makeup and heels, and then they want to look at women who wear makeup and heels?
Because they're insecure. I don't know. I would never listen to that shit. That's a dumb. That's dumb.
Pure insecurity. That's what it is. It's all pure insecurity. They don't. It's all insecurity.
But they're preaching you should wear your natural hair. You don't need this. You don't need makeup. You don't need nothing. But that's not the women that they want, right?
A secure,
Be honest.
confident man would like. I'm not saying that he prefers his woman to do that, but wouldn't mind and wouldn't have to feel threatened that other men are going to take her from him because he has done his role as a man to provide, protect, build. He's responsible. He's lacking something, and it's showing on the way he what he tells his wife is something that he's lacking, and then he's insecure about it. He doesn't feel like a full functioning man. I did this is all this screams insecurity. Because a man that if I have a man, if my man provides, protects, and everything, he would not do that. A real alpha man would not say some crap like that. A real alpha man, no. Alpha men don't scream alpha. They just are. They have the presence to show it, and they treat their wives well.
So this leads me to the next point. See, oh my God, Auntie,
Yeah, anti-ableism.
ableism,
Yes.
ableism. Yes, you are leading me straight to where I'm trying to go. Okay, so the last point of the night, because Bomb is going live, I think at 9. But let me
Okay.
just say y'all this here. Listen, this is my last point. So they were basically saying the woman needs to protect the family, and the way she protects the family is by her having a good image. It doesn't matter if the man have an honest integrity or anything. It's as long as the wife has that, she gives that to the husband. So she can't be seen twerking or doing anything that's fun or anything like that because then she's leading the family in the wrong way. And I don't know. I just feel like maybe if we were see, I don't know. I don't come from that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have that kind of breeding to where I could say I'm a millionaire, or I'm not the daughter of a millionaire, right? So maybe if I was the Obama's daughter, Sasha and Malia, maybe I would feel that pressure, right?
Mhm.
My dad owned a grocery store. You know, we didn't come from straight poverty, but we didn't come from, you know, we weren't the rich either. You know what I'm saying? We weren't part of the Hilton's group, right? So I just always felt like once, I don't know, I just feel like the way the men really say things is always double speech. And it's almost like I keep hearing this one guy keep comparing women to children, right? He keeps saying women are like children. They don't know what they want. And I'm thinking, don't we know what we want? We want to look pretty from a very young age. I'm talking about 5, 6 years old. Little girls want polish and stuff for their birthday, right? Like we know what we want. It's guys who start telling us what they like and don't like, and then we try to conform to it. And then when we conform to it, we find out it's complete bullshit. It's
Yeah.
like this natural hair. Every man want their wife with a natural hair, right? I wear my hair natural, right? But like I said, and I'm not trying to be any kind of way, but I feel like it's bullshit the way men say they want natural hair because I've seen them clown women with natural hair who hair is very short or won't grow as long and things like that, right? I think it's bullshit. I'm gonna just be honest. That whole natural hair, it's like if you have a certain type of natural hair, and that's the reason why I think women should do what they think look best on them,
Of
what
course.
looks good for you. And I hate saying it like that because I don't want anybody to think because you have a certain type, you know what I'm saying, that you shade. I don't ever shade any black woman ever. Any woman, really and truly, I don't even care about your race. I don't shade women like that. But I do know that so far as black men, girl, you can have the same type of hair texture they have and they will shit on you. And it's just crazy to me that they will sit up here and say, why a woman need this? Why? Because she look pretty with it and she look good and she rocking that shit. So what? You know what I'm saying? It's like I think so many styles look good on women. And I'm just gonna say, because I'm black, but I wanna say black women. We rock so many designs and we just so we just such a good diverse people, right? But I hate when they do that. And listen, I have seen this in the last 30 years, y'all. I have seen this with my own eyes, being a married woman, where they would have sexy women, they would be sexy girlfriends, sexy wives, and then they conform to what their husband desire or opinion is, and they get more and more conservative to their, not saying they're ugly, but they're very homely. And then these same men who say that this is what a real woman, a real wife look like. Do you know that my husband told me, he said, you better not start looking like them. He said that's on them and their husbands.
Yeah,
Because these men would beat these beautiful women down who I think were prettier than me. Honestly, I'm not even trying to hate on them like that. They're very homely now, but if they fix themselves up, they were so pretty, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I don't know. It's just to me, it's like the men sometimes will ruin women. I always say maybe it's be careful what you wish for. You telling these women they don't need makeup, they don't need this, they don't need that. And then when they finally start listening to you, you're not even a fucking attracted to them. You want to cheat on them for freaking women that you have no shot with.
This is common. This is very common in the community. These are just manosphere talking point. I'm gonna say it. This is a manosphere talking point. Which is pretty much comprised of a bunch of insecure incels that can't get women, they can't get the IG baddie that they longed for. So then they dictate what women should and should not do when they try to get some sort of power, this delusional sense of power where they tell women that, oh, you look like a two, you look like this, or they try to use double speak by saying, yeah, they want natural hair, but then when you do wear natural hair, you're unnoticeable or you are depedestalized compared to other groups of women. So it's like they want to praise other groups of women that don't look like us, but then they tell us that, oh, we should wear natural hair, but then when we do look natural, you either shame us or you don't consider us as beautiful, and then you get into the long-term relationships with them because you just want to, because you want to siphon something from them, you want to siphon resources from them, you don't want to provide, you don't want to protect, you don't want to do anything. Now the men that are not from the manosphere, those that don't carry those talking points, a true alpha male doesn't give a damn. He doesn't give a damn if you wear weave or you're natural. He's going to love you regardless. He's going to provide regardless. He's not going to regurgitate those type of talking points because those talking points are trash. They're not proven. They're not backed by stats. They're not nothing. They don't. These men don't. They don't understand. They don't even know their own psychology like that. So a lot of it is just based on a narrative. It's nothing proven. It's nothing factual. It's nothing anything. Because I'll tell you this: if anybody read a book on any book dealing with male psychology, you compare that to and compare it with the talking points in the manosphere, it's complete. It is complete BS. They're just trying to run a narrative and just regurgitate a talking point just to get subs and views and subscribers. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Because they're going to make you insecure. They're going to make you feel like you're never going to be enough. They're going to make you feel like you're undesirable to all groups of men. So it's going to be a waste of time.
Hey, hey,
Hello.
hey, everybody. Hey,
Hi.
you, how you doing?
Hey, Koja.
Hi,
Yeah.
Koja.
Hey, y'all know these men just want y'all on a hamster wheel to nowhere. They want y'all
Exactly.
in a fucking cage on a hamster wheel trying to please him on
Exactly.
some bullshit. That's all they want.
A
And
race
if
to the
you see,
bottom.
but just as long as I got her out this focus, she still focus on me. She focus on me and what I want on and what I want, and she ain't gonna never go nowhere because she over here. Whether I abuse her or whatever, she over here. I know she in this cage and on this hamster wheel going nowhere for me to play with at my beck and call. You know, like when you play with the cat with the string, you hold the string, the cat reach for, it, and then the cat get tired. You let him catch it for a while, and then you snatch it back. And that's all they want. They ain't got shit else to do. They ain't out there conquering. They just want your ass.
Knowing that we're not their
Oh, baby.
type. We're not their type. They don't want us. They're just trying to use us. They're using us as placeholders. And quite as the cat, they're using their so-called wives as placeholders too. Those
You
women that
know
they
what?
try to that they dictate or what they shouldn't, and then they end up looking home. They're just placeholders themselves. They don't marry for the same reasons that we want to marry. So if they do have wandering eyes to other women, and if these other women say yes to them, thinking that they're single, they will leave their wives in a heartbeat, regardless of how long they've been in a relationship with 10, 20 years. And they will marry the other woman in like maybe less than 2 months. I know this happens. I see this happen. So don't listen to what these derelicts are saying. These people these people are just frustrated incels that can't get any women, period. They want so badly the IG baddies or other types of women that they long to have. They can't have them, and they're frustrated. That's why they're angry.
I want to say, wow, what's good, sister? Koja Malik, what's good,
Nothing.
sister? Nobody, both of y'all on the panel.
I just ignore them. I just say ignore them. As long as they got us triangulated. Because I read probably over 10 years ago, maybe over that the new woman was the Asian woman. So this trend, when they talk about the Asians more submissive, I read this over 10 to 50 because they said even the white girls basically, and it's my interpretation of it when you strip all the bullshit away, even the white girls was getting tired of their ass. So now they was going to the Asian. And guess what? Then they gonna circle their ass back around to black women. They go like, oh queen, cause your star rising, black women stars rising. And they were like,
Mhm.
oh queen, back and start this shit again if we all be dumb enough to go for the bullshit.
Yeah, they like to come back when they lose all their money and the white woman left them, and black women take them back.
They
No, for
want
sure.
somebody to take care of them. That's what it is. They want somebody to take
And
care of
these man, they ain't got nowhere else to run. They're gonna try to run to the gay community because how Sarkis Ray say hetero flexible. They're gonna try to run to the gay men, and the gay men say, "Nigga, I'm not keeping your secrets either." Ain't gonna you got to shut every door on them so they ain't got nowhere to run,
Hmm.
and that's it. And eventually, it'll hit through their head. Well, maybe I need to do something better, or maybe it won't. But it might take a couple of more generations. When ain't nobody putting up with their bullshit, then they'll have to improve. But as long as they got somebody to run to, whether it be a man, a woman, white, black, Hispanic, as long as they got an option, they're gonna keep running until they shut off all of the options. Like I say, and I think even the gay men coming out and they saying, "I'm not gonna be your secret. I'm not gonna be this," and everybody, no, you got to shut the door on every option they have to force them to improve themselves.
Right.
And
Because exactly, if we keep enabling them, they don't have to change.
them.
so,
Exactly. We hold the power. We hold the power.
Well, Vincent says over on pro-white male leadership, he says that most of them are bisexual anyway. Most of the men in our community, at least. What y'all think about that?
I believe it. I believe it. They only want us for physical for intercourse. That's it. They're not into us. They think that we're annoying. They think that we
Hmm.
just have other attributes that they can't stand. They
Well,
only
that's
want us
funny.
for that. That's it. Continue.
Cause I think I told you, Mule, that Wisdom had read this comment from some nigger he posted, and he basically was saying, men, we don't have to like y'all. Like we really just like see your bodies and we want to conquer y'all in the bedroom, but we actually don't like y'all. Like we just want to have sex with y'all, basically.
And
I
Hmm.
that
was
sounds
watching.
bisexual.
I
Listen,
was.
as a straight heterosexual woman, I've never been attracted to anything other than men, right? I've well, I'm not sure.
Women can
I'm
see
not
a woman and
sure
say, "I think
what.
she pretty," or "I think she
Right.
attractive,"
Yeah,
but that don't make
girl,
you
I
want to
could see
get
a
with
woman
her.
and think she pretty. I could say, oh, she fine. I could say she bad. I could say all kind of compliments on a woman,
But that
right?
don't make
But
you want to
so
get with
far as
her.
me having a desirability to want to screw her, that's the difference, right? So what I'm trying to say as a straight woman, I don't. I do this. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I don't desire sex, right? I'm not gonna go there because that would be a lie if I didn't say that was a huge part of it. But I also love integrity of men, right? I love that um when I'm trying to be more political correct, my husband can whisper in my ear something that'll be very insulting and shocking. I'll be like, boy, we can't say that. Don't do that. Don't go there. So I do love the honesty. If you have somebody who's honest, right? Who has some kind of integrity, you're gonna love different attributes of certain men, right? So it's not just sex. When men say they only enjoy sex from women, that may be the first thing we think of in the other gender. I'm not gonna say that. Even for me, I'm gonna be honest, and maybe that is low tier vibrational. I'm not sure, but it is a huge part of what you love about the opposite sex. Honestly, is the sex, right? But you have other attributes of womanhood and manhood that you really can like and love. And I think it's a telltale sign. Juan, what's good, Black Beauty? That a man say they only like to conquer women in bed, but other than that, they don't like her. If a
I
man
mean,
don't like women, let me tell you something what Dame Dash
He's
said.
gay.
Damon Dash says the guy who's with Rockefeller and Jay Z, his whole team is women because men always want to overthrow the king. And he says that in his life experience, it's better for a man if you surround yourself with women than men. And any man that only let me be honest with you, my father, my oldest brother, my husband, they will tell you this. And this is some shit you don't hear on YouTube. They rather surround themselves by women because men always want to run the business. They always think they can do something better than you. They
But
always want to be a threat to the throne. And even, when people always talk about this damn chess game, I play chess, bitch, not checkers. I play chess, not checkers. The most powerful piece on that thing is the queen, even though the king is when you lose the game, right? If you know how to play chess, until that king is cornered, the game's still going on, right? Even if the queen is off the board. But the most powerful piece that can move all around the board in different angles is who? The queen.
oh, life
And
too fucking short for all them fucking games and stuff.
but
Now,
what
if
I'm
I'm playing
what
for
I'm
some,
trying to but
I'm
what I'm
just,
trying to say,
I'm
Kosha,
joking.
is they downplay on YouTube the value of women and the value of a woman with their children, with their spouse, with their parents. Let me tell you something. My father told me God, the greatest gift God gave him was daughters. And you know what? You know who fight over my dad? Me and my oldest damn sister. You think my brothers give a damn about what my dad had? Huh? My dad is
No,
80 something years old. You think my brothers ever say, I'm gonna take my dad in? Our mom been dead since I was 3 years old. I mean I got adopted when I was 7. And my mom who raised us, she lives with my sister. She's good. But what I will say this here about if you have a girl child, you are blessed. You are blessed. Because boy children do not
Hmm.
look after their parents like a girl child will.
they're not conditioned to.
that's
But
what
it's
I
just
think it is.
but it's
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
they
facts.
cannot
It is
anticipate
facts.
need.
They will come and visit you. They will come and visit you, but
With
they're
their hands
not.
out.
Right.
I'm not gonna even say what maybe, but what I'm saying is they will come visit you, but they're not as maybe
They
we
don't want
are
to be
just
up under their parents.
They're not
yeah,
But
expected
like I
to.
said, they're not expect. Yeah, they're really not conditioned or expected to mule because of the simple fact is that it's an understanding for them that they're gonna have to go off and make their own family, their own lineage. So they're not supposed to worry about the lineage that they necessarily come from. They're supposed to worry about the future lineage that they're trying to create, right? That
yeah.
legacy.
But
Where
let me
versus
just tell
with
you this.
women,
This
with
is the thing. My dad owns 2 businesses, right? It's left on my oldest sister to take over that because my brother refused to.
they're
And
not
then my
reliable.
other brother
I mean,
refused to.
he probably refuses because he know a lot of dudes refuse to do stuff because they know we'll do it. Like these
Yeah.
dudes will get another girlfriend when they have their kids because they know the girlfriend will do it. They don't schedule their own stuff or take care of their body because they know their wives will do it. They don't take care of
Yeah,
their
Yeah,
but
parents
what
because
I'm
and
they know their
saying in
sisters
other
will do it.
cultures, when the parents have businesses, the it's usually the male try to take over it, right?
But
right,
And
yeah,
my
they don't.
sister worked for the post office for all these years. She didn't think she would have to be this person, but she has to be this person, right? And I joke and say, she sent out these things saying she the president of our family. I mean, she is, she's a handful, but you know what? She's the best person in the world to me. And I admire my sister because she stepped up when nobody else was stepping up.
But
So
those,
I
like I said,
admire her. Hmm.
those men, the men are not required to be reliable in that way. That's why everything is supposed to be set up for them to have the resources and the provisions that they need so they can create their own legacy. They're not supposed to be reliable. Versus with us, especially in this country, when it comes down to little girls, it's always left for little girls and the daughters to always look after the family, whether it's the mother, whether it's the father, whether it's the grandmother, grandfather, aunt, uncle, even your own brother. It's
But
always, it's always
But
responsible. We're always the responsible ones.
Yes,
can I
other
let
say,
me just
communities
and you're
actually
right.
set
Let
a
me let me just say this
requirement.
here, sister nobody. Let me just say this here, and then I'm gonna let y'all carry this thought for me. This goes back to biblical, not biblical. What I'm trying to say, not biblical.
but even
Demise.
if you took
No,
Floyd
no,
back
no.
to,
Wait, hold on. Not demise. The Quran. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I've been in all the religions, so bear with me. Now, the Quran. Sister Khadijah, the Prophet Muhammad's first wife, right? She was left a business, right, that she had to run. And the Prophet Muhammad worked for her, right? And she felt like he was an honorable man and blah, 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 blah. But this is my thing. This is the same way what I feel like with a lot of black men. They want to be the kings of the kingdom with no work. They want to do and inherit everything with no works proven, right? And so it's just like begging them to come and take over something. And they won't do it because they just think they should inherit and be the boss of something and have no clue and don't want to work it. And so then when the girl is put in that position and she's forced to do it because nobody else just don't do it, right? I was out of town. Y'all know I would have stepped up. But my thing is, I worked there from the time I was 13 up until I was 19 until I got married, right? Till I was 20. When I got married, I moved. But my thing is, they won't do that. A lot of black men just don't want to do it. They feel like it's undermining to them to work their way up. And that is the way my dad, my uncle set it up. You have to know every aspect of what it is and how much it costs and how much this person's position is worth and what they doing so that you know and also that you value what they do.
actually, I seen men who they get a kick out. If I was to open a business, I feel like I should know every aspect of that business more so than my employees. But these men feel like big men when they can say, "Oh, I pay somebody to do that." You should never have be that dependent on people where they know more about your business than you do. You don't know if they stealing from you, you don't know, but they feel big when they could walk in the room and say, "Oh, I run this, I run that, or whatever. I make this. I got somebody to do that for me. I got somebody to do that for me." But if you look at
Wait,
how
Soldier, let me
society,
just say this here. And I'm gonna tell you, my family owns plenty of businesses in New Orleans. One of them is a cleaning company. Do you know? I know how to dry clean. I know how to work the register. I know how to work the assortment to where you put and labeling everything back to where they go. Everything. And even it's just trying to get your brothers to do those jobs. They think it's so low and beneath them. They just want to sit up there and collect a check.
They only want to be a figurehead. That's it. They don't want to really be the boss. It's just about being a figurehead. They want to be the image of success, not really
But
what created
But
the success
listen,
in the
my
process.
dad sent all of us to Arizona to become master dry cleaners. And do you know only the girls are master dry cleaners by trade? We the only ones with that license. None of my and I got four brothers will go to that school. And guess how long the school was, y'all? 2 months. I mean, my dad will put you in a hotel. So it wasn't like you would just be, you know what I'm saying? You in a luxury hotel, you getting free room and board and all of this here for 2 months.
And it's covered, or is it paid? Is
Yeah,
it paid
I
for? Or
mean,
is it okay?
my dad would pay for everything. But I mean, to
They don't
become a
want to do nothing.
master dry cleaner. But you know what? These people would not do it. The men in my family, I don't know if they were just spoiled, privileged, or because they have college degrees now, or what. They just would not go back and work these businesses.
But you have to
But my
think
sister, my
historic.
oldest sister, is working them. She's working all of them for all of us. Yeah, and when I tell y'all, she does a hell of a job. I can complain about her. I can tell her she's bossy. I joke and say she sent out a memo, say she the president of the whole family. I can say all kind of shit about my sister, but I admire her. I still give her credit.
But you have to look at historically how things were. So we got a lot of history that is his story, not the real story. But think about like when girls got married, what were they done? They were sent off to the husband family away from there. Now, if they mama was the husband mama, because you think, remember, men died before their wives a lot of the times, and then plus they married young. So the mother-in-law would be there. Now the mother-in-law basically come the in-house babysitter till she get old and who or doing things because when stuff passed down, it passed down to the son, not to the wife. So the mama there, she basically unpaid labor or somewhat, depending on how rich the family is. But you taking care of your grandchildren, you doing that, you being hand. I ain't gonna say unpaid labor. And then when she gets sick, the wife take care of his mama, and that's why all of a sudden now in the United
Mm-hmm.
States you see so many people in nursing homes now because the women are out working, they're not home to take care and do all that stuff. Women were totally undervalued, and a lot of time making the men look good without the credit for it and doing a lot of the work. They in the Bible they said want to make you to think everybody was the wife of a king or something. Them bitches was an unpaid labor, and they did work as just as much, if not more. And a lot of women sat behind and ran companies and stuff, and their husbands got the credit. I'll use a modern day example: Love and Marriage Huntsville, Martell and Melody. Who was running shit? But who looked like they was success, and now that they not together, you can very well see who was running it. And I think a lot of these places, the women be running the stuff, except for the man get all the credit. I don't think they ever was that much. I think it was a lot of women in the background doing what needed to be done and didn't get the absolute credit for it. And the men have never stepped up because you always had the older sister in the house doing for the boys, doing it is. When have they ever had to? Because the girls was always expected to and always did. And that's just how it was. And you got this revisionist history that come down through Ben.
And these are the same men. I don't understand because they're literally given resources to be productive members of society. I don't understand why are they harping on things that like antiquated ideas. I
But
don't understand.
even before it was training, they would say, oh, they give you all these programs. What the fuck the Job Corp was for men first? They've always had training programs for men before women. Because remember, women wasn't expected to do shit but sit in the house. And eventually they added women onto those things. But they did have programs for men. And a lot of men like to say, oh, you got this program, oh, you got that program.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But when you looked at it, when they had like when we were growing up, if you had qualified for it, you got the summer work program that was sponsored kind of through the government. It was for girls and boys. It wasn't just for girls. It
Exactly.
we So where did that come from? Then
Hmm.
every
Just like
like
food
in my
stamps.
town, they have a lot of careers that's through the tech schools, and I think it's all over the state of Florida. I think a lot of states have it that have free classes. If you qualify, you get it could be welding, it could be carpentry, plumbing, it can be I think they got CDLs be off and on. Then they got phlebotomy, they got CNA, child care, they got quite a few, but they aren't limited to men or women. I mean, you most of the time people, women will go into, what's technically women dominated fields, but you could sign up for carpentry and they could sign up for the other, what would be, I guess, traditionally seen as female roles, but now it's getting blurred lines. But they're for everybody, but they make excuses and they free.
Yeah, but let me just say this here, because Sister Nobody hit on a good point in the back chat. These roles predominantly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, even my dad, who I love it, y'all know I'm a daddy's girl, he was really not even optioning these things to the girls in the family. This here roles were for my brothers. And because they wouldn't step up, it wound up falling on my older sister, right?
Hmm.
And I'm talking about, even for me, he demanded for me to go to Arizona. And I had a son at the time. I had a newborn son. And I took 2 months and I went to Arizona and got certified, because just to keep the business going in the case of something happening, right?
Hmm.
To him. And so I went even before my older sister. But my thing is, a lot of times it's like, even if you do have something to leave a lineage to, a lot of times the guys don't want it.
No,
Even
they
Yeah.
don't.
they
The
don't,
guy who
and
was,
if they want it, they want it for the grandioso of it, but they don't want to work it. Like, I have one brother who keeps saying he wants to do this, but he don't want to go to the schools. He don't. A lot of this stuff you have to actually be certified to do, right? So he don't
hmm
want to go through the classes or the certifications to do it. But we had to go through it because my dad forced us to, right? But he don't want to go do it
Right, because
because
it's
he
not
window.
fast. It's not fast money. They just want it. They just want things handed to them. They don't want to go through that point where they're working and they don't, they don't receive the fruits of their labor right then and there. That's how their mind operated. Like, if I do something, I have to get what I want from it right then and there. They don't see future hand. Like, if I go get the certification, yeah, it would be hard for those 3 months or 2 months, but later on I'm gonna be making the money that I want to get. No, I have so much other things I could possibly do, or I can go sell
now to become a
drugs and then
master
I'll
dry
get a certain
cleaner.
amount of money this time. So
Yeah.
that's how they think.
But
Listen,
they
when I
letting
went to get my
opportunities pass.
certification for my master dry cleaning, it was less than 2 months, right? Now it's a 6 month thing,
Yeah.
or more. Because this was like in the early 2000s. We was trying to talk one of my brothers, so it may be even longer than that, because that's what the government does. It sees, a way
Yeah.
that they making money, so then they make the classes longer, right? But before, when I went, it was 2 months. It's way long. It's a little longer now, but
But
still, not one of my father's sons will go to these classes. And this is not the only class that need for different businesses they have, right? But my thing is, you're still gonna benefit from these, but you don't want to do no work to get them. And this is what I say about the men, and I hate to say this because I love our men. I'm not trying to hate on them, but they keep wanting to make it seem like it's easier for the women. It's not. It's really not easier. It's just, I think we as women listen and learn better. We learn and we say, oh, well, this is what this takes. Well, let me go ahead and do it. You understand? It's not that we want to even do it, because that's not a profession I really chose for myself. Because I always, through childhood, was told that my brothers was this was their business and they were gonna provide for us, right? But in reality, that shit ain't happening
But you gotta
because
understand, Mule, I just actually went back and I researched an old article from the BBC back in October of 2016, where the UN put out a report saying that young girls do more unpaid labor or chores than boys. And it's the UN has confirmed that societies have been surviving off of unpaid labor on women and girls, meaning women and girls are literally indoctrinated to, like, clean, cook, do certain things, sew clothing, things of that sort. So a lot of unpaid labor that has been done throughout the years, where men couldn't find men to do those things, were being done by girls. And the funny thing about it is, they said that if they was actually to tally up the amount of unpaid labor that women and girls do just naturally, generally out of their life, it would add up to almost to $1.7 trillion.
Yeah.
And that's only the stuff that they can quantify. Like, that's not even including like the emotional labor that is very real and it is taxing. This is why women who be married be dying faster. It's a lot of emotional labor.
yeah, and you know what? That's the stat too, because single women live way longer than married women, and they don't realize that. Yeah, that is a stat. It's a
Yo,
Energy
statistic.
married men.
vampires. Those some energy
Yeah,
vampires.
Yeah,
and
because
this
I'm
married
is why
men
I
live
joking.
can't
longer when
stand
they're
that men
married.
think
I'm
women
joking.
are men. Men
No, it's
say
true.
that
I'm for real.
women
I
It's
are,
true.
agree.
It's true. Married men live longer.
but
That is
no, no,
true.
no. Men say that married women are winning, which is so bizarre to me when we know married women die way younger than single
You
women,
talking about these
right?
Because
manosphere
it's a
men too?
social
Yeah.
status. That's why
And
they're
we
saying
know
that.
that, listen, but married men do better, right? Married men live longer than single men, but single women live longer than married women.
That
And
could
they
be
never
true.
want to discuss that. They never
Hmm.
want to discuss those stats. They always want to seem like if you're not married, you're not successful. Now, I'm not gonna like I said, I'm happy in my life. But what I'm saying is I hear so much dysfunction and so many weirdo, like I said, I can't even imagine being married to somebody other than who I'm married to. I couldn't imagine being married to somebody who told me you better not wear makeup or you looking too good. Or no, I want to be married to somebody who want me to look my best. I want to be married to somebody who loves the fact that I'm trying to work out and keep my weight and my shape and everything. You know, I don't understand these manosphere men saying, complain about a woman getting their hair and nails done and just
They
like
don't care about a
it's
Because
woman
so
getting her
women
hair and
bizarre.
nails done. They broke ass just don't want to pay for it.
pay
So
for it
they say they
exactly.
don't like it because they scared they might have to
To
pay
pay
for it.
for it. That's what it is. They
I
have
just
no
can't.
money.
But I can't understand it because that's all the thing. Oh, woman wearing weave. She got to get
My
fake
husband say
nails.
it's two type of men. It's men that buy women drinks and it's men that buy the boys drinks. And you
Yes.
got some men cause they want to buy the boys
Boys
drinks.
drinks. That's what this fill it up. That's what it is. They want to buy
And when I
drinks
say
for the
boys,
boys.
Yep.
not like in no gay way, it's just that you got men that will want to hang out with men and sit in the bar and drink, and they cool with that. And and they broke friends gonna encourage that because they ain't got no money, so they in competition with the women for. Bitch, you gonna go and take your wife to dinner or your girl to dinner? You gonna come hang out with us? Come on, hang out with us and we can drink
Mhm.
because you ain't got enough money to do both.
Yeah, for competing for attention, time, energy. They're mentally gay.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. They are.
They're
Yeah.
just sexually heterosexual.
That's what it
And
is.
some of them are only that because they too scary to face what they think, the type of judgments they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's all it all comes down to. They're only sexually attracted to us. They're not really attracted to us at all. These type of men. They're competing with real alpha men that has money, that don't peruse in the manosphere and follow their talking points. Real alpha men, they build, they provide, they protect, they take care of their women, they spoil their women.
Well,
Trust
I,
me.
I think
I
there could
don't
be a
go by no
handful of those
titles.
men.
I don't care about no titles, no alpha man or whatever. I just want the man that's for me. And you may be an alpha in the world, you may not. I personally don't want no alpha. If I had to pick one, it would be what they consider the Sigma man, because
Hmm.
they both, the alpha being led by the crowd and the crowd being led by the alpha. And I don't want now one of them motherfuckers personally, because I ain't got time to be following nobody crowd or to be being followed. I just want
Kosher.
to do my own fucking
Let me
thing.
just be honest with you. My family is full of Masons, right? And since like 1995 or 1996, they've been trying to get my husband to join a Mason, you know, to do this, to do that, join all kind of clubs, right? That,
Hmm.
in New Orleans, we full of kind of clubs, right?
Hmm.
And one thing absolutely think, and he's never told me he was alpha or any of this bullshit, right? But since
Hmm.
I've been on YouTube, I have determined that he got to be alpha, because let me tell you, he does not follow nothing. Everything somebody invite him to join, or beg him to do this here, or tell him he needs to do this here. My husband's like, nope, nope. Like, and he's a man. He's a manly man. Like, he's just like, he can learn about something that you're telling him or something, and he can even like it. But if you ask him to really join with you, he's like, nah, thank you, but no thank you. Like, I don't think that we as women should follow men who need to be followers. I really, I am so against that. Listen, I as a woman
I
can
don't think
hear your
me. I think
point.
anybody. Period. I don't even think it's a thing limited to gender. It's because you got women the same way, and I say don't follow
No, no,
nobody.
no. And I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
this here. In the Nation of Islam, when Malcolm X went against Elijah, they broke that those they broke it up, right? Because a lot of people still follow Elijah, the same ones who follow Farrakhan, right?
Hmm.
And then there's a separate chapter who believes in Malcolm. And it's a very small chapter, right? But my thing is, right is right and wrong is wrong. And when you get people who are just followers, when they see wrong, they have to pretend they don't see it. When they see evil, they have to pretend it doesn't exist. And that is where I have a problem with men. Because if you can't see it and strong enough to call it out, then you weak. And I don't want to follow nobody that's weak. And I'll
But
just be
most
honest
men
with you.
vision don't see evil like we see evil. Most
No,
men
no, no.
vision is.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Malcolm saw it. King saw it. When men see it, they usually, if they're bold, they call it out. If they're weak and followers, they pretend that they don't see it. It's not that they don't see it, Kosha. Trust me, they see it. They're just scared. And those coward ass men that are followers, that's why I don't like men who follow men. I don't like men who are followers. I can't respect you if you're just a fucking follower. When I hear men with these same talking points, say if I met a man and he had all the manosphere talking points when I first heard it, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. Okay, well, you know what? That's unique. Okay, that's what you think. I'm cool with you, right? And then even if I meet one or two more, they got the exact same talking points. Okay. But when it gets to be hundreds and thousands and they're all just repeating the same shit, y'all all followers. I don't take none of y'all serious. Because first of all, another thing I don't like with that manosphere, they want to always tell you the nature of a woman. Motherfucker, I'm the woman. You can't tell me about my nature. You ain't gonna tell
You're not a
these.
woman. You're a child. You just an
These
older
men want to
child.
tell you, they tell you broad generalizations of what they believe most women, and that's just not true.
Yeah,
It's the
we're not
same
a.
way.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's the
Go ahead.
same way I was saying about the men. One man will say they want their woman not to wear makeup. One man say they want their wife to be a trophy, to be a beauty queen. One man say they want their wife to be a sex symbol. You know what I'm saying? So the things that they say about women and what women want from men, it's the same diverse way to me. Some women like to be controlled and dominated, right? Some
Yeah.
women like a man to be more docile. Some women like a man to be just what I'm saying is, listen, it's to each their own, because it's not one way to be right. But I don't like the hypocritical. Like, I would not be a woman saying I don't want my husband to do X, Y, Z, and then go and admire another man who does X, Y, Z. These men say they don't want their woman to look sexy and beautiful, right? But then go and admire women who look sexy and beautiful. And that's what I'm saying.
They want their cake and eat it too. That's what it is. They want their cake and eat it too.
But I just think should nobody be a follower, and we do, you know, we got a lot of people that, you know, you just do your own thing, and the thing is, I don't think men ever get to the point where they say, let me look at me, let me examine me, let me do some self introspection. And because they don't do that, they always be in this, stuck in this perpetual high school mentality and stuff. So that's
Pure
pretty much.
pure arrested development.
Yeah, yeah. And then they hanging with other men that encourage it, and you know they never in a space, I mean with other males, I ain't gonna say men, that encourage it, so they never have a chance to reflect and grow, because
Mm-hmm.
ain't nobody you know, they just never stop and reflect, because they always got other people encouraging them and acting like what they doing is normal, so they never uncomfortable.
And then they gaslight and say that black women, they project and say black women aren't accountable, even though black women are the ones that take care of the kids and do everything. But they say that we're not accountable.
I asked them several times, what, first of all, what do I need to be accountable for? And what are the steps for me being accountable? So I could go, you need to make a checklist of what the steps of being accountable, what I need to do to meet your standard of accountability. They
The
can't even
accountability.
describe what your
The only thing,
accountability looks like. They can't
the
The
even
only thing I'm
define
gonna
it.
they're
say is
they don't want
choose
they know what
better.
their accountability they're asking for. They just not going to say it because it's not going to be approved. They want you to be accountable for their actions.
For who you choose too.
They want the benefit for when things go right. They want all the praises and the privileges and the benefits that go with it. But when shit fails, you need to take accountability. That's your loyalty, is to take
Mm.
accountability for their downfalls.
Horrible, man.
Hmm.
Horrible. They are horrible for that. Horrible.
Yeah, that's
So
fact.
And then they victim blame single moms as well, as if they're the only ones that carry the child. But then complain and then make 11, and then they go on 11-hour live streams complaining about child support.
but they
I
don't
said
never stop making,
they want you to
but
be
they don't stop
accountable
making
for
children.
their they want you to be accountable for not only your mistakes but theirs. They feel that that is your cross to carry.
I'm
Oh,
48, finna be 49. I went and got my tubes tied at what, 37, after I had my daughter, she 10, I'm 48. So I went and got my tubes tied, but they never take the step to stop having children. They never do. So
yeah,
they'll still
facts.
be 49, starting a new family. They'll be getting fucking so child support out they SSI check.
Mm.
Ooh. A lot of them, and even some of them, they be having like 30 damn children under the age of 21.
Because they feel that it's their right to quote unquote populate the earth. That's what they feel. They feel that they don't have a right. They don't need to like lower or limit what they can do. They should be able to have as many children as they want, with how many children, or with as many women as they want. It is the woman's responsibility to quote unquote, manage that.
Mm-hmm. Or the states.
You can't
I
lead from
could
the
have sworn
bite.
I heard a nigga say it's the state's responsibility if he don't want to pay.
But tell you the truth, they don't even. The funny thing is, they get mad. They get mad at the woman if the state do pay. So it's like a
Right.
double-ended sword, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
you take them there to get child support, it's oh you're turning against me. You're disloyal. Why you doing that? Blah 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 blah. But then he will also get mad if she's like, all right, well, fine. I'm gonna see if the state can help me. Oh, you rather them help you than me. You rather take a welfare
Right.
check than to have me in the house. But you said you didn't want to do it. Did you not remember what you just said earlier? Fuck them kids and fuck me. So like,
Right.
like I don't understand it. They don't make no damn sense. Like
It makes
you want
perfect sense. It makes
you want
perfect
the
It does
woman,
sense.
make.
girl.
Mm-hmm.
You want the woman to suffer. Like
No,
at
they
that
just
point.
want your price to be low. They want you to be in such state of poverty. Like I remember back in the day, they say somebody was talking about when Mr. Johnny came by with some groceries, and I just saw these men. They was doing it was supposed to be satire, but it was really for real. They're like, we going to what they say the DR or whatever, and we're gonna take some stoves and some groceries, and we're gonna take the children to the Goodwill and buy some shoes. And they wanted so like back in the day when they came through, they could give you a little. You so hungry and starved and poverty stricken to that you take the $40 for puss. They want you to be in such a poverty state and not have nothing, so they can come and put a little $50 down, and they look like they demand, and
I
they
call
don't have
that
to do
fake. I call
anything.
that
Yeah.
fake validation. I call that fake validation and creating a need when there isn't one. You take away something for someone where you leave them in despair, and then you get to come back and act like you are the knight in shining armor, that like you did something. That's
Yeah.
him creating his own need and his own
And
validation,
that's
his
why
own
you
fake.
can't work. That's why you can't work. Cause I can't get you to the hungry level that when I come by and bring this peanut butter sandwich, you just grab it up like it's starving. You can't compete with this lady for that bitch. You got to bring me steak. You can't bring me peanut butter when I'm used to eating steak already. And they want you eating peanut butter and crackers. And so when they come by and they bring a little potted meat, you just hungry for the potted meat. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I ain't never had steak, but this cube steak good because you ain't never had prime rib.
Right.
You ain't never had filet mignon. Bitch, you need to be on poverty level. So I'm gonna bring these Vienna sausage over here with some canned goods, and then you gonna fuck me in every hole you got, and you gonna thank me and ask me to come back and beg me to come back.
Yeah. That's true. That's why when they say like the passport bros or whatever, they be saying like, oh well, it only costs $40 to have a woman out there.
But they can't go to them countries and live, because to go to them countries and live and not be able to come back. See, that's why they don't want to move down there, because they're gonna have to do some physical ass work down there, and then that money what they making down there ain't gonna be the same money. See, they can make the money here and go down there, and it seems like a lot. But when they got to live over there in them conditions, work for that same pay and do physical work, they ass don't want to be over there. That's why you don't see them staying, because they
Exactly.
want to come up here, save their little money, go down there, but they don't want to stay
Because the currency is a lot less in these
because
countries
they're
as
gonna have to
compared to the
work. They're gonna
Yep.
have to work down there for them same wages that
For the
them
same
people
or
down
even
there
lower.
earning. And
Hmm.
they ain't gonna be seen as no great, they ain't gonna be seen as Santa Claus, because they ain't got that American money to come down there and look like they a baller. They on the same
Exactly.
level.
That's why I always get confused and I laugh at them when they get mad when we call them predators, because you're preying on disenfranchised women who have far less, and then you get to come down there and act like you Santa Claus, knowing and so she can be open to you, thinking that her life and her situation is going to change. But truly, you just going out there stunting. You just going out
Exactly.
there stunting. You
Exactly.
ain't changing nothing. You give her one stove and she's treating you like King Kong, but when that money runs dry, you leaving her there with that stove and those three babies that you created her. And now that government has to take care of her and the three babies that you left over there.
They
Yeah.
threw little nigglets. That's what they
Yeah.
call them, because them black children are ostracized. When they take their money and go back home and they ain't got no money, now them black children are the pariahs of their society
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So, it is what it is. But as long as
No, you're absolutely right. You absolutely right. Those black children that they're leaving behind are the pariahs of their society. This is like horrible, guys. It is
Yeah.
so horrible. And the way they leave their children in Brazil, they started laws, y'all. And I'm telling y'all, those children that are left over there by the women in Brazil, by the men from America who are made with the women in Brazil, those women mindset are not like black women mindset. Even if some of them look like us, they actually are turning those kids over to orphanages. And there's
Mm-hmm.
so many black children, y'all, are in those orphanages, and they are treated like dirt. And
But
these black men are abandoning those kids at high rates to where they're starting to put laws in. It is fucking crazy. And then they're sitting up here saying, "Oh, why you worried about what the passport bros doing?" They're the
Right.
ones going over there creating these kids and abandoning them. Like, what the hell?
yeah,
And
and
then it's
this is
like, if you
why,
say
and this
anything, you're jealous of the passport bros. Hell no, I wouldn't care what you did if you were responsible. But because you're not a responsible race of men, it is horrible. It's deplorable about what they're doing,
and
y'all.
to be their actions are associated with us because we're their counterpart. So
Mm-hmm.
their negativity that they take, and I know other races don't do it to their people, but it is associated with black women too, because they say you
Mm-hmm.
one and the same, you birth them, you raise them, or whatever. They associate that with us. So
Mm-hmm.
we do have a right to say, when you go over there acting a damn fool, you are representative of the black race, and I am part of that race. So you are giving me a bad look.
Well, you know what's funny though? How they say like, oh, well, the women are raising them, that's why they're coming out like this. But they always say black women are masculine. So why are the boys not coming out masculine? Like it's
Because
just
I don't
all
think men are not that bad, especially today. Now, maybe it was a time when they were. I don't know, yay or nay. But to me, and I don't know where it got switched in between post slavery and now. I don't know what happened, and I don't know if they ever were actually better. I don't know. I'm not
right.
that historically sound. I'm just living in today and what's going. That's good to look at history and learn from it and stuff. But I can't let them keep living in the fucking past. I need to know what the fuck they doing today and how they getting better, because it's not acceptable. I don't want to hear about no past. Make your plan today. Show me your short term goals, your long term goals, and how you gonna get out of this shit. And I don't want to hear shit about what you had to do in the past. That sound like when my mama come and tell me, but my sister, but
But
my
wait,
sister. But mama back then
Kosha.
you used to do us like that.
Well, hold
Mm-hmm.
on, Kosha, because Sharice made a very valid point. And I've been wondering this too, Sharice. I'm so glad you asked it. If the black woman is so masculine, why do y'all blame us for when the black boys come out feminine? If we're so masculine.
Right. Make it make sense.
I don't know what their definition of masculine is. I really
Yeah.
don't. I ain't gonna say gender roles or this and that, but I don't think women were ever weak. I don't think we were ever. We may not have been physically as strong, but I don't think there was never a time when we was weak, and there was never a time that we didn't work. Probably work more than them, but that is what they say masculinity is. But I don't have no idea. I don't care what their fucking definition is. I just know women have done their share and more. And I'm sick of them black men, because guess what? When they was in slavery, when we were in slavery, guess what? We had babies and still went back in them same fucking cotton fields, and they did it. And then they want
Right.
to talk about, so at what point were women weak?
women were never weak. We were
Especially
subjugated.
black women.
And so they call that, when you're not weak, they call you masculine.
Women have never been weak. The things that we have had to do is not weak. Like in Africa, the women are the one who are out there getting the food and stuff and getting a water so the house can have water so she can cook, clean the kids and things of that sort. Like women have never been weak. We have always did strenuous jobs. We did what we had to do when we had a family. So, you know, them saying that is just like I said, that's just gaslighting. It's a talking point. It's just to keep on moving the goalposts for women to do what they want to do. It's triangulation. That's all it is. It's just control. What women have always been is just been in control. Been men have always been controlling women, and that's why we're getting the outcries and the despair and the "I'm gonna hurt you," the vitriol, the violence, and all that stuff like that. Is because now they know that their sense of control is being taken away from them. More women are waking up and like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm damn if I do and I'm damn if I don't. So I'm gonna do me and not falling for their bullcrap. And it's mad because after you stop playing their games, what else can be done? You got to stop playing their game. Not don't play their game of what they want, what they don't want, who's good, who's bad. This is a real woman. This is not a real woman. This is masculine. This is feminine. If you continue to play their games, that's when they're gonna leave you in a state of confusion, and you're gonna be sucked dry and used and manipulated by anybody that can come into your present in your vicinity. Stop playing their games. Cut it down from the beginning. There's nothing they can do but just whine and cry as a little tyrant. That's all they can do.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just tell y'all this here. This is why I don't know if y'all know this, but a while back I had a thing with all of the femininity women and who were like resting your femininity and those coaches, those femininity coaches, right? The reason why I
Mm-hmm.
have a problem with that is because I have a husband who was in the Navy and he was deployed a lot, sometimes 18 months, all kind of, because his station in the military was on the boat. So when that ship shipped out, he had to be gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who lived through that, if you have children, a family that's here at on base, you are that you have to still provide, protect, and do all the stuff that they claim these men are doing, right? I mean, even though I still had his money coming, uh, but I still had to. Basically, you by yourself, right?
Get
Because
up
we
and
didn't live
load
on
all them
base.
children up and take them to the damn grocery store with you.
Exactly. Everywhere you had to go in society, you were there with your kids, and you had to be self-aware and have some type of aspect of protection, right?
Take
Whether it
all
was
them
calling the
groceries out the
police,
car.
yeah, and you have
Right.
to be aware of your surroundings. Sometimes if I will be pushing my kids in a basket, y'all, and it looked dangerous, or I saw somebody who looked dangerous, I would actually go back into the grocery store and ask for an escort. And they
Right.
always would do it. They always would do it, and I would tip them a couple of dollars. But my thing
Um,
is, women have to always protect. That's the reason why I don't like this notion of providing to protect. And the reason
and
why I
I'm
don't
actually
like
getting
it,
tired. Have y'all
wait. The
noticed?
reason why I don't like it is because mostly all the women I know in my personal real life work. Mostly all of the women I know in my real life carry. You know, so if you sitting up here saying that's the only role men play, well, damn, it is almost like you're not needed. It's not the only. Let me tell you something. The role of a husband and a wife is also companionship. It's also friendship.
Hmm.
It's also a business mind. It's also we're growing together. Our money is pulled into one. It's also let's get a property. Let's run a house out. It's a lot that can go into it. Like I said, I did not marry a millionaire or six-figure guy. I'm not gonna stunt and lie and tell you I married somebody. Listen, we were both broke. I was I think my second year of college, and he was in the military. I don't even think I had a job at the time. I think I had a job and I quit my job because I knew I was moving. to another state when I got married. But listen, we didn't have no money. We didn't have nothing. But you can build with somebody who wants things, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I was in my second year or close to my third year, but whatever, like a year and something later, I transferred to school out there and I graduated college. I was making like 2 or 3 times more than my husband because the military don't pay that much.
Right.
If y'all think y'all marry somebody in the military and you got a maid, you are sadly mistaken.
I
Mm-hmm.
remember
But
when the military was on food stamps. I don't know how true it is. It's what I read.
girl,
It
I'm
was
telling you, they didn't pay shit. And I'm telling you,
Yeah,
once
back
I
down
finished
in the
school,
pay with that,
I actually
but
made so much
that's
more
not new.
than my husband. So this here meant that you getting a husband and he in the Navy and y'all are set. That's bullshit. It's just like everything they telling us, Kosha, MJ, is lies. It's
it's
lies.
because
When
they
I
have
Yeah.
they have no they don't watch Leave It to Beaver. They don't watch all these old shows on TV and they think that's what it is, but they have never seen anything in real life. They said number one, when you have most people were having kids earlier in their age. That's the time you have the most responsibility with the least money. And it's trying
Facts.
financially. And they got the shit. I don't know what fantasy they live in. And in today's world, you can't really have no house, no 2 cars, and no 2 kids. You can't afford all of that when you just started out. Now, if you come out and you're a computer engineer and this and that, but that wasn't the times that I was living on when I came up. So, but if you think you finna come out, he a teacher, you're a teacher, and he a police officer. Y'all money ain't gonna be that long with 2 children, 2 cars, and a mortgage. It's not. You ain't gonna be able to do all of that. And if you try to do all of that, you're gonna be in debt. You're gonna be financially stressed out, and y'all ain't gonna make it. Now, if you coming out and you are in the career field and you starting out at 6 figures, that might be the reality. But they don't know anything because they haven't lived. And a lot of us, I ain't saying everybody, a lot of us just one generation, maybe a generation and a half off of some form of public assistance. And when I say public assistance, I
Mm-hmm.
mean all of it, the free school lunches, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
The subsidized, and we barely one generation off of that, and some of us still are. And so you never seen having to carry that whole load on their own, and they don't really know what it means because they ain't look. My mama made being a single parent look easy, and if you're a good parent, a lot of times you don't know the struggle. Your kids don't know the struggle, and they don't know what really happened, and they don't have no desire to know, and they got life all fucked up, and they don't not realistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like that's why I don't really like when people be saying, well, marriage isn't the key to everything. Marriage isn't the answer to all. And because I definitely don't think it is. I know marriages fail and shit happens. You could be a married single mother, but it does help. Like our community is so has the marriage rates are so low. Like, but that's how you build generational wealth. That's how you split bills in half and have twice the income. Like one person taking care of a kid, they're gonna be lacking somewhere if they have to work full time. Like,
that is why. Listen, I I got beat up. I got called mammy and mule and everything. That is the reason why I do for myself and for other women who want to be married, promote marriage. Because when you're trying to raise children, sometimes, let me tell you, these children, I don't care how great you're trying to raise them, sometimes the streets will start calling them. And when they're I would say between 13 and 16, you really
mm-hmm,
need to be very conscious on every step they're making because my grandmother taught me this. When they're young, you have to protect them from the world. And when they become teenagers, you have to protect them. When they become teenagers, you have to protect them from themselves. And this here black culture of not being real and you a punk, and you not strong enough, you not this and listen, that especially for young males, I don't know what it is. It's like they want to prove I'm not weak, I'm not soft, I'm not a chump. And so then they fall into these things that you didn't never anticipate that your kids could ever get into.
They don't
And
want to
Mm-hmm.
I'm
be
not,
the educated lane.
but I'm not saying this is for everybody, but this is my true real life experience. I'm gonna tell y'all, from the time my son, two of my sons was 15, for 3 years, I did not work. And I could not, I didn't work. And it was the only thing I think saved me. I'm telling you, one of my sons, his best friend who used to sleep at my house, I'm drinking my coffee, getting myself ready for work, and I see his friend is charged with capital murder, y'all, on the news. I
Mm.
freaked out. I went to
Damn.
screaming. I was screaming for my husband. I was like, ah,
You
right?
know,
And I see this because I'm like, what is the hell? What is he up here saying that he did a capital murder?
Damn,
I
Well,
that's
ain't
I
deep.
told
never
my
had a
husband,
weed.
wait,
I ain't
hold
never.
on, yeah. I told my husband that day, I gotta stop working. I have to keep this boy with me. I don't know. No, 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 no. Because we have been noticing the change for almost a year and something. But like I said, he was very smart like me. He kept an honor roll, right? But just because your kids are making those grades, when you start seeing their friends, their best friends going to jail for big time crimes, man, that is a warning. That is God letting you know, do stop.
You know
Stop
what's tripped
everything.
out, Mule,
Wait,
is
hold on.
when
Well, let
they
me just say
let you.
this here,
Oh,
Mello.
go ahead. Hmm.
That is the same thing that we played on my parents. And so when it happened with my son, I saw it and I was able to, because I had a husband, I had backup that said, first I went out on FMLA and the boy still was cutting up and I just stopped working completely. But what I'm saying is when you're, this is why I hate when anybody attacks single mothers because you're there doing the shit by yourself. You got to provide that roof. You cannot say you're going to stop working. You cannot say you're going to stop doing all these things because you got to be the provider. You have to be the protector. You can't give up, right? Because you have other kids usually you're providing for. But what I am saying is if you have a spouse, you usually can say for a little time period, this child is vulnerable and can be going to the streets and can be in prison for something stupid. You know what I'm saying? So you can stop, you can focus on that one child, not just that one child, but you can make sure you like shadowing him so that he can't get into the trouble that you know that he can't get into. And I'm telling you, I done been at the high school volunteering because I was a volunteer mom. I was a type
Hmm.
a cub mom. Listen, this boy, they would send me texts saying he done left the building. I go to the parking lot, my son cutting school. And he know
What
I'm in
about
the
the
building.
single mothers that you observed at the school? Did they struggle?
The single mothers I always had the biggest plight for. You know why? Because they would come because I was a PTA mom, PTO mom. That thing was they would always say it always touched my heart because they would say, "Oh, I wish I could do this, but I have to work. I'm a single mom, and I try to just be there for them, but I don't get off till 7, and everything with the school is closed." But I'm gonna tell you, when we would have football games that were in at 10 at night, those same women who would get off at 7 in the evening would be there volunteering. You hear me for those football games that their sons was in. So that's the reason why I hate the stereotype. Single moms are the worst, and this that. No, they're the freaking breadwinners. They're the providers of your children that you left and abandoned.
I
So I
think they're the
don't
bravest. They're the bravest of the parent uh, situation because when you have an absent father, right?
listen,
You
Mella.
got the mother. She's the bravest because she's
Wait, I
sticking
heard
and
a guy
she's
yesterday give
sticking
this
to it.
analogy. If me and you, Mella, are moving a couch, we're moving a sofa, right? and you are on one end and I'm on the other, and you drop your end, right? And then I have to drag the sofa.
That's a
You're
good
gonna
analogy.
blame you are you gonna blame the person who's still holding up their end and trying to
Right.
drag this damn sofa to where
You
it needs to
better
be?
get it.
Or
You
are
better
you
Mm-hmm.
gonna
get
blame
it.
that
Girl, Mule.
motherfucker who dropped that damn in their end? You cannot do that. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go on mute.
That was a good one. That was a good analogy.
Hey, Mella.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, hi,
Hey.
Mela.
I put Happy Friday in the back chat, but I guess I'll say it again. I got stuff to say, but I'm going to wait until I'm invited to speak because,
You
you
go ahead
know,
You
and
invited, y'all
speak.
all welcome. I'm sorry, y'all know I get emotional, so I listen. I hate when people blame everything on single mothers. It is my biggest passion, not just for Black women, but my ultimate thing is for the women. I can't stand when they blame Black mothers for everything, and they're providing your children. Let me tell you, if we had an epidemic of children being malnourished, starving, homeless, I would say, oh God, the women really not doing. But God damn it, they're providing, they're doing the best they can, and then you have people shitting on them.
Mm-hmm.
I know this. I could say this up. I didn't even keep liquor in my house when my kids were growing up. If I had a drink, I would buy a personal bottle. Like some people have bars and stuff in their house, and this little other one done came along who 10, so now I got to get out the house. But I didn't even keep alcohol. Hey, my children ain't never seen me smoke no weed. They ain't never seen none of that shit. So
Mm-hmm.
when they started doing, I'm like, what? They didn't get it here. They didn't get it in my home. They
Right.
didn't
That's
grow up
how.
seeing no food stamps. They didn't grow up seeing none of that. They saw a working mother, not in the streets, not none of that.
that absolves you, of course. However, there are their friends
Outside
outside of
factors,
you.
exactly. They ain't never
Mm-hmm.
seen a weed in
Now,
smoking weed in my house. They ain't never
let me
seen
let
them.
me let me allow me to challenge you because you know I love you. Let me allow you
Mhm.
this opportunity to critique me based on how I'm challenging you right now. Is it the mother's fault that she didn't control their child's friends, like who their friends are? Because
No,
that was
no,
posed to me.
I don't
It
think
was
so
like
either.
it's like, well, why
no.
the hell is that hoodlum his friend? Type of
Because let
After
shit.
a
me tell
certain
you
age,
something.
you
Wait,
can't
wait, wait,
really
wait, wait. Let
choose
me
who their
just say
friends
this.
are.
Yeah, and when they go to school,
Mm-hmm.
they're meeting
Mhm.
thousands of kids. You don't know who they're attracted to, but I will tell you this. I don't know what it is about the Black. Well, I do know. I'm lying. This whole thing with the TV show Empire, the TV show Power.
Mhm.
Listen, the Black men put their image as all drug dealers, killers, robbers, stealers. Their image is so low because of all the images they portray on national freaking TV for over New Jack City, for every goddamn major movie they in. The image is for them to be real. They are drug dealers, killers, and this, and then they want to lie and say women gave them a bad image. They give themselves this image because it's their truth. Their truth is fucking degeneracy. And
Mm-hmm.
then what happens is when your child is coming up cultured and speaking three languages and this and the other, you know what happens? Their own family members, sometimes their cousins start saying, "Oh,
They
you're a
act
white
white.
boy," or yeah, or you're this. And now they gotta prove that they're not a lame or a sucker.
Mm-hmm.
And when they have to prove that, they go to the lowest of the lowest people in their school, and then they want to connect with them. And now they want to prove to them, I'm just as much a man or
My
a boy as
question
you.
is, why is it that parents seem to not be able to control a child's priorities and who they socialize with? Like
Uh,
when you raise a child, there's a point in their development where the sponge brain is in. Hello?
Yeah, but when they're 16, 17, Mella, let me tell you, they don't tell you everything.
Look, look,
Yeah.
look. I get that. I do. Promise you, I do. What I'm saying is that from 1 to 7, they're they're influenced, right? They're not going. There's something going to be in them that determines whether or not they're going to go astray. I like what Cole just said. Like, my kids never saw me do this, that, and the other. And when they done screwing around with their no good friends, they'll get to a certain level of maturity where they realize, like, I wasn't even raised like this. Or like, why am I sticking around these people? You know, and next thing you know, they'll revert to what it is that was their influence when they were quote unquote 1 to 7. That's a very significant period of time to influence a child. What discourages me specifically is how Black men are abandoning their children way too much. They just figure, well, he's with his mama. I don't get along with her, and as long as she's providing and she gets a check from me, that child will be all right. That's not the case. It's not. Like, these, so that would be my argument. I noticed the title of your live stream, so I don't mean to go off topic. All I'm saying is that fathers
Some of these
are,
men want them children to do bad so they could just turn around and see that and say, see, if you would have let them come with
and
me,
blame
they
it on the
wouldn't have
mother.
been there.
Right,
See,
right,
that's your influence.
right. I
I
agree.
wasn't even there.
I have heard men that blame the mother because they abandoned their children, right? They're just a check, right? They send the child support check. They do that. They send the child support check, and then when the child grows up to be quote unquote degenerate, they blame it on the mother's influence, which is some sucker ass, sorry ass shit. You know, that child needs two different influences of gender. It needs a male influence. It needs a female influence. That's what the child needs. And when a man makes a decision to, washes his hands other than signing the check, that's cruel. That's cruel. You gonna deny your own offspring? That's cruel.
So let's understand, a lot of them ain't signing the check because
Right.
when the government have to go in your check and take it right after Uncle Sam get it before you get it in your hands, you are not doing you doing what they made you do. Is not a voluntary thing. And a lot of these men will say, well, I pay. No, nigga, you had to been took to court, put on
Mary.
child support. They had to garnish it out your check, because if they didn't take it, you wouldn't pay it. And every chance you get to skip it, you skip it. It's not the same.
No, and we already know Black women don't really put these men on child support like that anyway, unless they're getting like public assistance,
I'm
which
putting mine on child support, and I ain't gonna take my foot off their neck. I might be I might be like that white lady in fucking retirement by the time she get it, if I get it. But I ain't taking it off. I don't get nothing. All thing is, it's worth the paper it's written on, because people have an unrealistic expectation of what child support enforcement is, because it's really null and void. By law, every state has to have a child support enforcement agency, but they really only function in a couple of cases. They only function when you get welfare, or the person works and is not going to quit their job and they're going to be able to take it out. If the person with the shits, they don't even file for enforcement. My sons are 22, 22, and 23. And I'm old, and at the last check I got, they probably was 8 or 7, and it was a piece of an income tax garnishment. And I ain't got now since they're probably younger than that. But there's really no enforcement for the ones who don't want to pay, who gonna work on the table. Now,
All
Florida
right.
passed the law
All right.
now that they got the contract.
Kojic,
But I'm saying it's I'm done.
I'm going to forget my point. Okay, Kojic, I'm going to ask you this, right? In the interest of perspective. When you got that delayed check, did you use it for your own interest, or did you forward it to your children who are grown?
I said they were 9.
Ah, you see?
I ain't got no check since they was like 9. Huh?
Oh, so what happened to
It's
the
just a debt out there.
mention?
I'm owed the money. It's just no collection on it. It's still accumulated. It's a debt. I haven't gotten a check
Oh, it's
probably.
still in arrear.
Yeah. And for my daughter, it's like, well, I already told you about that, but yeah, it's still there. I ain't had a check or anything from that man, you know. And the fat part is he was claiming them on the taxes, and the fucking IRS audited me, not him, me. And I had to take off of work and go down there in fucking January to the damn IRS place with that bullshit. But yeah, it's non-existent if you work. And I'm not going to take the conversation to child support. I just was saying that a child can grow up in a home with a mother and they never see that stuff, and still they'll get exposed to it, even in two-parent households. But I did see somebody was doing a show or something on that. Even though the mother can crawl out of poverty to the next socioeconomic rung on the ladder, and then those boys will squander it. They won't take it and move it forward. They'll go back down into poverty instead of taking it and move forward. Whereas if their child is a girl and the mother pulls them out of poverty, they are more likely to take that and advance it as opposed to falling back. So I'm not sure what the answer is with the boys. I came from a generation in a house full of girls.
Are y'all there?
Yeah, I thought maybe my internet was going out and stuff. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't hear anybody else.
yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm right here, you guys, but I just listen. I dropped that little analogy. That analogy didn't come from me. It came from Hafiz. But my whole thing was they blame the single mothers for everything. And it is really something I hate because it's like you always want to say what single women do. And my thing is, I'm not saying that single women do the best job. I won't ever lie and say that. But what I am saying, they're doing the best job they can do, that they know how to do. Put it like that. Because if I am
Mm-hmm.
a single woman, just like I said earlier, we both carrying the sofa, right? And you drop your end, right? But the single mother is carrying their end. And then she got to scrape up these beautiful hard wooden floors, right? Because she trying to drag this sofa. But she don't have the strength because you done dropped your end. So now she might be making a whole bunch of mess ups. But you're not gonna blame the person who not holding it in.
Mm.
You only gonna blame the woman who trying to grab her in and keep pulling it to what she wanted to get. I mean, it's
One,
just to me,
Yes, they will do that. I've
it's so
heard it.
backwards though. It's so backwards to me.
I've heard it many times. And one of the guises that they use is that the woman is using the quote unquote money for something other than the children, which is what I was trying to introduce as a conversation, but I think I brought it about the wrong way. What I
but
will say is that having worked for Illinois, um, the Illinois Department of Child Support Enforcement, I have experienced clients that have told me details, but nothing hit my heart harder than a fellow supervisor that said, I applied for this position because I thought it would give me a gateway to get child support from quote unquote him. And he had always told me, you'll never get it. And so he would just work jobs under the table getting cash. He did everything that he could do to avoid, you know, supplementing income for
Hmm.
his children. And that's how low down and dirty they can get. They can have so much resentment for the mother of their children that they're willing to put themselves damn near in poverty situation, just to avoid her. So what kind of psychological disability are these guys practicing who do that? That's a,
Miller, it
you
seems like you're
know,
really breaking
the
up. It's like I don't know if it's just me, but I'm hearing like every third word.
Yeah, she was boring a little bit.
oh, okay, I'm fully Borgen.
Okay.
Okay, to
Honestly,
catch
when you
that,
just said that, you sounded good.
yeah, to catch with whatever people had missed that I said, to be concise, is that I've seen in child support enforcement, in which I was a government employee, that men intentionally skirt their financial responsibility in a major way. They will go so far as to put themselves in positions of depravity and impoverishment and all types of stuff because they have these emotional resentments towards the woman they produce the children with. And so when you talk about dropping the couch, when you talk about dropping their end of the couch, that's intentional. Okay, that's an intentional act, and no, very few people are talking about what it takes in the mind of a man to drop their side of the couch. That's all I was trying to say. I don't know if I'm still Borging or not, but that's what I was trying to
A
say.
little bit. I got two things that I hear discussed that bother me, and I'm gonna maybe I'll give me. They say, well, if the man can't, it's better for the man to have time with the children, even if they can't give money. And I don't. I say I don't think that's a good thing because to me, if you cannot, you're teaching your children not to ask for anything. You're teaching them to accept crumbs, that they're not worthy of the bare minimum of being supported. And I've heard people say, well, they got, I was like, no, but if you telling your girls, not to expect anything of a man, because the person who's supposed to is your dad, and not to expect anything of him, just your time that they give you, not that, then you telling her to go get a husband that don't work, that don't provide, and just the fact that he here is enough. And I've heard that's the way I feel about it. But people say, well, if they can't do that, they can get their time. I don't think that's a good message of just giving your time, because I think we spend our money on what is a priority to us. And if you're telling your child that you're not a priority, I'm not going to spend anything on you. Take, this time and get out my way. I think that's that type of message. And people say I'm a man hater when I say that, but I say you're the time is good, but if the only way you say you're gonna be with me is if you have no demands, no expectations, and no boundaries, then that's what you're teaching your daughters to do, to accept, and that's what you're telling your future sons to do.
Well, I just want to say this: that we only got like 5 more minutes because Bomb's supposed to go live.
Okay.
Y'all hear my grandson? 5 more minutes. Five
Yeah.
more minutes. but but anyway, yeah, if anybody have any final thoughts about, especially about the topic, what is the way you dress, like, because that is just so weird to me. That type of behavior.
One of my favorite quotes is "Don't should on nobody, and don't let nobody should on you." The only thing you should do is what you want to do and what's good for you. It should never be nobody else's intention to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Live your own fucking life. That's all I got to say.
I agree. Anybody else?
So what we gonna head over the bomb?
Yes, we're gonna head over the bombs, y'all.
Yeah.
So Sharice, you have anything else? You any final thoughts?
No, not really. Just thanks for having me.
Oh, girl, sis, you already know. Anti-ableism. Is there any final thoughts on my way? The topic. Well, I want to just say thank you, everybody, for coming up and sharing with me, because this is really troubling. I just my clothes. Oh my God, my grandson, yeah, I just. But anyway, my
He said
final
you
thought.
got 5 seconds.
Everything I
Ask,
say, y'all, he repeat.
I'm here. Oh,
But
uh,
anything, but anything. Anyway,
I'm here.
I'm gonna drop down.
anti. You
Yeah,
have any
I'm
final
here.
thoughts? Any closing thoughts? Somebody have a background.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Just don't listen to what they say. There's trust me, there's a lot that the world has to offer than what the manosphere is saying. You know, all they're doing, they're just acting out of emotion, and they can't get what they want, or they're still hurt by getting rejected from how long ago, and they're just using that as a way to pretty much marginalize and exploit Black women. So don't listen to them. It's all BS, and yeah, that's all I have to offer. But thank you so much. Thank you for having me up. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming up.
All
I
right.
just
Have a
want
good
to do
day.
my little. Yes, you. Thank you for coming up anytime. So I want to say thank you for all the beautiful ladies who came up tonight. Um, and then my closing thoughts is, I agree. Don't listen to all these people, because let me just be honest. They tell you that they want you this way and that way. But if you don't stop, they tell you they want. They say they want all of us a certain way, but then their actions show us something different. That's that's my beautiful boy, my grandson, y'all. But anyway, so I just think that it's very hypocritical when they say they don't want you to be wearing anything, or wearing makeup and all this good stuff. And then the very women they give all their attention to is those women who are beautiful, who are doing everything telling their wives not to do. So I don't want you guys to fall into that. And I just want to say I love you all. I thank you all for the support, for the two cash apps I got tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting this platform. And just thank everybody for coming through, everybody who came in through the chat, and everybody and all the people who hit the likes. I really, really appreciate you guys. I am starting to take my platform a little more seriously, so I do want to grow it. And so I just appreciate everybody who comes through, hit the like and subscribe button, and who's supporting the channel. I really, really, really do. Um, Mela says, wait, there are black men that would rather avoid being prosperous than pay child support by virtue of resentment toward the mother. And that is so sad. That is so sad. Trinity, wow, was good, sis. Trinity Time Travel Show says, great show. Thank you so much. Yeah, Kira, that she says that's messed up, Mela, but true. Yeah, I mean, I'm not for everyone. Um, Listen, we know there's a lot of degeneracy, and I, I just want to say that we cannot. I, I honestly, I'm not trying to get no smoke from the manosphere, but I do feel like they are talking like they're the highest class of our society, but they actually acknowledge and operate and cater to the lowest level, right? Because they're always against supporting their own children. They fight against the very menial of things that we know is just keeping society afloat, right? They want to see their own women, and not just the women. They want to see their children starving and without food, and that'll be pleasure for them because they don't want to see them getting the government assistance they claim, but yet they leave them without a pot to piss in or windows to throw it out of, and then get upset that they get government assistance. Everything I'm saying about these men is just hypocrisy. They want to blame the government for stepping in and keeping those kids from starvation and shit. And then they want to blame the women when they do everything. Oh, wear your natural hair and wear this and no makeup and no this and no. And then the very same women they give all their money to, all their coins, it's the Instagram models. It's the strippers and stuff. So I'm just saying buyer beware. I'm just saying women beware that these men talk out of both sides of their neck. That's it. All right, guys. Bye. I love you. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.